I'm on my way.
Good morning, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, we're up. So, this is our first game of Delta Green. I'm Michael, and we have today Joanna, right?
Yes, Joanna.
Yeah.
Alright, Joanna, sorry. We have Martin,
Right.
and we have Jim. They will be our agents or operatives, depending on what term you prefer. The game takes place essentially in modern times. Let's say that for simplicity's sake it's 2017, United States. You are all called to New York City. It's early spring 2017 and it rains quite heavily in New York. You've been given a special message from a man named Jonathan Silva. Silva is a middle-aged man of Hispanic descent, and he's also your sort of liaison with the government organization that you've all been assigned to as specialists, essentially. Any questions?
This operation, which umbrella organization are we gonna be joining up?
Umbrella R&D, the best division ever.
I was just thinking, is this an FBI operation? Is it a police operation?
You've worked with Mr. Silva twice so far, and each time it was an FBI operation. Although previously the operations were only essentially surveillance, centered. You had to stake out a warehouse one time, and an old tenement building the other. Nothing really happened, but your superiors were pleased with you. Now it's the third time. You've received a call. I don't know if you guys want to live in New York City or if you are, if you live in different parts of the country. In that case, of course, it took you some time to reach the East Coast. But at about early noon, you're all standing before the old post office building in one of the more let's say less savory parts of the city. Thank you.
My dog.
No worries. For simplicity's sake, let's just say that maybe you've all decided to enter it at the same time, like a group, sorry.
Thinking we have probably worked together before.
If you wish so, yeah, you could. You could know each other. It's up to you.
Should we introduce our characters?
Yes.
For the sake of the listener?
Yes, certainly, and we'll start from left to right. So, first we have Ronnie, which I presume, I know it's Martin.
Actually, now, presently, I'm not Ronnie.
Okay.
I'm gonna be trying out a cover. So it's an unfortunately, but I'll occasionally do the accent just to get you into the feeling. I come driving a shitty, rusty, red sports car from the early 80s. I have long, blonde Rastafari dreadlocks. I have some shades on. I've got a pop belly. Pretty worn down. Blasting reggae music from the speakers of the car. My name
Sweet.
Joshua Barretree. I come from Montego Bay, Jamaica. You can call me Rasta Blasta. or Rusty Rasta, if you prefer, man.
Yeah, Jamaica man.
Okay.
We have some Rasta weed, we have some sunglasses, man. We have lots of trinkets and necklaces and bracelets and lots of weed, man.
Nice.
And basically, this is my cover for the game.
Okay. I also presume that you're still of like Caucasian descent. So
That's correct.
yeah. So okay. So you're like a middle-aged white guy who wants to be a Rastaman.
Correct. And
Okay.
he carries it off pretty well. You who have worked with him before know that this is actually a cover. He's actually called Ronnie Podolsky, and he's a CIA spook.
You've told them that you're
with,
CIA.
Told them that I have worked for the CIA,
Okay.
and I told them that I'm a sniper specialist.
Okay.
That is my thing.
Yeah, if you wouldn't know that, when you've looked at Ronnie or Rasta Blasta, you would never believe that that the man can probably even handle a gun. Yes, very well. Yeah, sorry.
Together with, should I
Yeah. Sorry, Johanna.
or Jim first maybe?
Depends on you. But okay, Jim, shoot.
I can go first, or second. I mean, you see a man in his late 30s, kind of worn out man with a long coat, grayish coat, and you also see a collar of a priest on his shirt. I mean, his name is Robert H. Anderson. He's a minister of the Lutheran Church of USA.
Okay.
And he's been working in the military before with his wife, so that's his roots is in the military
Okay.
as a field priest.
Yeah. So you're essentially like a chaplain.
Excuse me, one more time.
So you're essentially a chaplain, or
Yeah,
ex-chaplain. Okay. Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, a minister.
yeah, minister.
Sure.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Or pastor.
So just one last thing, Ronnie, you're with the government, or are you freelance?
I am nowadays freelance.
Okay.
So I'm ex-military.
So you're ex-military. Jim, are you in the military, or are you a freelancer as well?
I'm getting confused here.
I'm getting confused here.
Twice Jim.
Twice Jim.
Oh, sorry. So in that case, Martin. I meant. Well, I asked Martin
my
if he's.
You had a Jim and the minister both, but no. I have, as you have probably noticed from the document, I have some covers for everything. But basically, presently a CIA spook.
Okay. Okay. Very well.
Acted as such.
Okay. And finally, we have Johanna.
Yes. The group that's walking into the post office is quite diverse. They don't really look together. The third part of the group is a tall, quite good-looking woman with a nice sunburn, long blonde hair in a like a braided ponytail, and she's wearing like a pantsuit. She's well dressed, looks kind of like a businesswoman. She had been in the military where she got to know the other two, but she didn't really fit in there. She was mostly injured, so she ended up at the CIA office.
Okay. You've also told the rest that you're with CIA.
Yes.
All right. Very well. So you guys know each other pretty well in that case. Yeah. So like I said before, it's raining. It's early noon, middle of the week, New York City. Ronnie's, or rather Rasta Blasta's, loud music stopped a minute ago as he exited the car.
Come on.
Yeah, other than you, there are almost no people here on the streets now because, like I said, it's really, really raining like hell. And so you enter the post office, I presume, or perhaps you want to discuss something before. I don't know. You tell me.
Do we know anything what we're supposed to do? Are we here to meet the contact with the Silverman?
You've received a message that it's something to do with, at least officially, with a joint anti-terrorist task force. But other than that, there's nothing.
All right.
That's probably, official information for your bosses, so to speak. At least for those of you who have bosses. Like Ronnie obviously does not. Since he's a freelancer. If I got that correctly, of course.
And he has the big boss in the sky,
Yeah.
Mr. Jarman himself.
Okay, so in that case, that's also a cover story for him. You enter the building, and you've been given instructions which room to to search for. And on the first floor, you eventually find a small conference room. Inside, it smells of cigarettes, freshly burned cigarettes. There's a long conference table, of course, covered with dust because this building is abandoned, although not yet full of unsavory types, so to speak. And it has been abandoned only recently. Perhaps it's scheduled for demolition, perhaps not. You don't really know. There's a projector on the wall. Heavy raindrops slide down the windows, the tall glass windows, and at the table sits the man himself, Jonathan Silva. He's more than middle-aged. He's actually reaching his 50s right now. He's got long, lanky hair. He's wearing old aviator-like jacket. He smokes quite a lot. There are already 5 burned cigarettes in the ashtray, and he's smoking his 6th. And he smells slightly of bourbon. And one very important thing, I like for my players to make notes during sessions. Normally I do something like that. That one player makes notes for 3 sessions. They don't have to be like essays. Essentially, they are more for you than for me.
Have you seen the Google Doc that we've opened up?
No. Oh yeah, here it is.
If you go up to the text channel, you copy paste the document there. We have a joint document actually that we all keep notes as things play out.
Okay, excellent. Cool. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I have access to this document as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can just take that link and put it into your web browser, and you will see everything.
In that case,
I will be able to edit. So if there's things that hard for us to write down, you can just copy paste it if it's easier.
Okay. Yeah, I can see everything. Thank you. I will also later, after the game, paste it to Roll20 for simplicity's sake, if that's okay with you guys. I like to have my notes, my handouts, everything in one place, and of course, on this Google Drive, it will remain. Okay. Anyway, Silva looks at you as you enter. He's not giving up. He just nods and says, "Hello. Glad you could join me. Please sit down." And
Mr. Babylon policeman, do you have a smoke for us?
"Yeah, sure," he says, reaches into his pocket, produces a pack of Lucky Strikes, slides them over the table towards you. Help yourself.
Sweet man, thank you.
He looks at you as you speak like that and just...
You know the Rasta Blaster likes his lucky strikes.
Rasta Blasta. Alright. Anyway, please make yourselves comfortable. We have a couple of minutes before I need to go. I'll make it quick. You go to the residence of one Clyde Bowman. He was an ex-agent of ours. He unfortunately passed a while back. Passed away. Heart problems. He was a very old man. I want you to search his apartment and remove any evidence of the organization's activities. His heirs are...
Which organization is that, man?
Come again, Mr. Blasta?
Oh, you want us to remove the evidence? That's all Bill, man. But we need to know which organization is that.
First things first. Don't worry.
So the team said.
Bowman's heirs are expected within 48 hours, so you need to make sure that everything is clean by then. And I do mean clean. Involve no one else in this operation. Only you. We'll meet in the same conference room in 48 hours, and I will expect a report from you. And if you find that Bowman violated the organization's security, I want you to report it to me. Here you are. Here's his dossier. He passes the dossier to you, Joanna.
Okay.
And together with dossier, he also hands... Well, I mean, there's a small key taped to dossier. He says that this key is to Bowman's apartment. It will open the main door. As for the organization, it's classified. Strictly need to know, and at the moment, you don't.
No, very professional.
As I said, 48 hours from now, this same room. Bring me a report. Best of luck.
I'm sorry, Mr. Silva, before you go,
Yes.
could I ask you do you have any suspicions of who might have killed Mr. Bowman?
I never said that he was killed. I said that his heart gave out. He was an old man. He never lived a very healthy lifestyle, so to speak. And ever since his wife passed away, he, well, you know, lived even less healthier. Of course,
Such a shame.
Indeed it is. Of course, if you find any evidence that this was not a heart attack, you know what to do.
Alright.
Okay. I actually don't think I do, but
Bring them to me.
bring them to you. Okay.
Yes.
You get it done.
I'm uploading Bowman's dossier to Roll20. You'll be able to see it in a few seconds in the handout section. Oh, here it is. Whoop. Up. Sorry. Oh yeah. Here you have Clyde Bowman's dossier and a key. Anyway, Silva gets up, nods to all of you, finishes his smoke, and leaves.
Alright.
You are left alone in the abandoned post office building.
Can I search inside the dossier of an address?
Yes, you can. Of course, there is an address. He lives in... Well, he lived in Brooklyn. In a more seedy part of Brooklyn, so to speak.
So it's not such a long drive, I think.
Oh no, from where you are now, it's actually not. Even though it's New York City, so you know the place is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the key. You can see everything about the man that you've been, you know, given info about.
Alright.
When you want to go, when you want to leave, please tell me, or perhaps you want to discuss some stuff. Don't be shy.
I think we will start with talking in here because this is not surveyed. It should be security proof.
Yeah, I think so too. But what do you think, Mr. Ronnie? Do you think there's some kind of foul play? Oh, I mean Rasta Blasta.
Yeah, man, Rasta Blasta, you will have to go actually Joshua Barrett 3.
So many names, man. Do you think there's some kind of foul play involved in this? And what do you think?
I don't think so. It's an old man. 1945.
Yeah, so it's pretty old.
It's quite possible he just died from old age. I'm not a cleaner.
Maybe if we go to his place and I can get in touch with some of his family, I could see some medical records. I have experience from the military as a field, also a field medic. You know, a minister has to do a lot of things in the war.
I think that we're not to get in touch with his part. Perhaps should be to delay the family when they get here if we are not done. We're just to clean the place.
Yeah. Okay.
Not to investigate.
So since we don't have a lot of time, what do you say about leaving as soon as possible? I found his address in this dossier. He lived in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is in Midtown. It's pretty crowded. So it should be an apartment. It should be a kind of small apartment. It should be pretty easy to clean. I'm thinking that we don't to anything. We just clean the place out. So we need to pick up some trash bags.
Some gloves.
Some gloves. We need to be careful about fingerprints.
Yeah.
And we should actually get sanitizing coveralls to avoid dropping hairs and stuff like that.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice. So, cleaning coveralls, gloves. We need some cleaning materials. Sponges. I'm putting all in the document here. Sponges and shit. What do we need? We need the trash bags.
I can specifically say that you didn't write and shit. Thank you.
I'm on my way.
Alright, anything
New
else?
name of the campaign: Sponges and Shit.
Shit. Don't be bad, man. It's a big man thing. Actually, I have researched Jamaican slang here, so I'm gonna try to get some goodies in there.
That's nice, because I don't know any of them.
What else do we need? We have the key. We need a cover story, because there's gonna be neighbors.
Yeah, but we could be maybe from the Goodwill who donated his stuff, and we're going through it to see what we could bring to charity.
The Red Cross.
Yeah. And I'm also a minister, so it wouldn't be that suspicious.
That is excellent.
Oh, by the way, Bowman died 4 days ago. If any of you are interested in that, just so you know.
The body's not going to be there, right?
No. Of course not.
That would stink.
Yeah,
Pretty decomposed.
His wife died in 2002 of cancer.
Okay.
It's also in the dossier. According to dossier, he was, as you can probably see, although I'm going to check it. Oh no, actually, everything is here. Yeah, sorry. So I have nothing else to add.
He's in taxation. He's in
IRS.
for the IRS.
Yeah.
That has to be a cover story. The organization that we're speaking of is not going to be the IRS, because that would be fucking lame. So I'm thinking that there's probably going to be like material in. Does anybody here know like stenography or cryptography or something like that?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Are you, Miss Steele?
Know about what?
Cryptography, stenography, like codes and shit. They gonna be criminology, or something.
I know. I know a little bit.
All right, good.
Okay. In that case, I presume that you leave the building, get to your cars.
The rusty red sports car.
Rusty.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So my question is: are you all getting to the same car, or are you all, traveling like individually?
I think that would be fun if we all go in your Rasta car.
My car be old Krang, man. You can go with me.
The problem might be that an old sports car might only have 2 seats.
Yes. Old 80s sports car does indeed have only 2 seats usually. I was running Delta Green previously in the 80s in Miami, so I've did a huge research on the sports cars.
Y'all be such good.
Maybe I should drive.
Yeah, so the earlier very serious looking Ellison yells shotgun and runs to the car.
Okay.
But I think that I will drive my own car, because it would be very suspicious if a minister rides around with a white Rastafari man.
And a businesswoman together with the Rastafari man won't look suspicious. No.
It sounds like a joke. White Rastafari man, businesswoman, and a priest walk into a bar.
Yeah.
Actually, that's quite true. So I'm thinking here, Mr. Minister Man, Mr. Jaman, if you go and get from the store, you go and get the cleaning materials that we need.
Yeah.
Then me and the sick babe here will go ahead to the place and kind of scope it out.
Get a head start.
Yeah, we just look at the place and see how it looks and stuff like that. Slapway.
Yeah, that's cool. I can go and fix the stuff for us. So I think that I drive off and get us the supplies. And then later meet up with the other guys at the apartment.
Okay, so you grab supplies from your nearest convenience store / 7-Eleven, while
/ Home Depot.
Yeah, / Home Depot, Bob Ross,
Yeah.
While you guys move to Beaumont's apartment. In your fancy sports car from the 80s. Well, it's from the 80s. Everything from the 80s is fancy.
Of course. And in style.
Oh yeah, Miami Vice. Bowman's address essentially is a very inconspicuous apartment building in a declining working-class neighborhood. The building is a jarring example of early 1960s design, blocky and drab. No one takes notice of you as you approach it. You see that there are no surveillance cameras around, not in this part of the city, not in this neighborhood. So yeah, According to the dossier, Bowman lived essentially at the very top of the apartment building.
Is there an elevator?
Yeah, so what I wanted to ask was, are you like scooping out the building for now from your car, or are you moving inside? And are you waiting for Jim? I mean Robert H. Anderson, sorry.
Okay.
Because if you move inside, then no, there's no elevator.
I'm gonna go with this here, that I'm gonna put up a secondary surveillance. So if Miss is it Miss or Mrs. Steele?
Miss.
Miss Steele starts working her way in, I'll just do a little perimeter search here and scope things out first, and just set up a secondary base, so to speak. I do hand her two walkie-talkies with earpieces, and I keep one for myself.
Okay.
I have a little. I have my trunk of my car is basically packed with the various stuffs that I might need.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that Ronnie or Rasta Blasta, if you prefer, is Class A spook.
Oh yes, I have mad skills, man.
Class A spook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And I watch Rasta Blasta with like doubt in my eyes, and I was like, you've ever heard of phone?
Maybe we should get him a tinfoil hat also. That's the
Please
next
take the
step.
bomba clock, okay? See, somebody here's Quenga, man. You just knock me if there's something, okay?
Yeah, alright. And I take the walkie-talkies and put in my handbag.
Okay, sure. Right. In that case, you. I was okay. You've took the walkie-talkies. You've plugged them in, and you're moving towards the apartment building, Allison.
Yes.
Like I've said, the weather is nasty, so there are not that many people on the streets, and no one gives you a second glance. As you enter the building, the door, of course, the doors are open. As you enter the building, you can smell mold, old people, and decrepitude, so to speak. This building has seen better days. There's no elevator, but there are stairs. And I would also like to point that the building is it's not very tall, it's only 3 stories high. That's probably that's why there is no elevator. Meanwhile, Robert, you've finished your shopping list, and you're making your way towards the gang.
Yes.
Okay. Allison, are you moving up?
Yes, I am. I'm walking as fast as I can up the stairs with my high heel shoes.
Yeah, okay, so you're walking in your high heels. They're not very comfortable. I presume I've never walked in high heels.
But they look good.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And as you, even in your high heels, 3 stories, it's not that much. You've quickly covered the distance, and you're standing in front of Mr. Bowman's apartment.
I feel the handle before I put the key in the door.
Unfortunately, it's locked, or fortunately, depending on
Depends.
Yeah.
But then I unlock the door.
You unlock the door. Suddenly, to your right, you can also hear door being unlocked. Click clack. Are you moving away from the door? Are you quickly coming inside? Are you just standing? Because you know that in a few seconds someone will exit through the door to your right. There are 3 doors on each story.
I don't rush because it would look more suspicious if I hurry than if I just take my time.
All right. The door open, and you see an old woman, aged about, she's probably 70, something like that. She walks out with a small dog at her heels. She wears glasses, long baggy clothes. She looks at you. Oh, goodness me! Hello there! Are you a relative of poor old Mr. Bowman?
Oh, hello! I give her a wholehearted smile. No, I'm from the Red Cross, like the Goodwill organization. We're here to help the family with Bowman's belongings.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, my dear. Oh, poor Mr. Bowman. He wasn't found for 3 days, they said, when he unfortunately passed away.
And they did find him 4 days ago, right?
Yes. No, sorry, my mind is not working as it used to. They found him only yesterday. But the paramedics, they said that he was lying in his bathroom for at least 3 days. Poor Mr. Bowman. He was.
Yeah, it's a tragedy.
Yes,
truly.
After his wife passed, Marlene, a sweet woman, after his wife passed away, he never recovered. No, unfortunately not. Anyway, I must take Mitzi for a walk. Thank you so much, dear, for taking care of his things. I'm sure that they will help many people.
Oh, thank you. Have a nice day.
You too, dear. Thank you. God bless you. And with that, she, walks past you after, of course, closing the door to her apartment and leaves.
Could I be about to come up the stairs now? So
Robert?
yeah, Robert.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to get to you. Are you going directly to the stairs, or are you first searching for Ronnie? Or sorry, Rasta Blasta.
No, I don't think I searched for Mr. Rasta Blasta. I know that he has set up.
You can't miss Rasta Blasta.
No, unfortunately.
But I think he's about to set up a base camp or something. So I don't even mind him because I know how he operates.
And looking at you, the better one. Actually, when Mr. Anderson comes to the place, I join him and I walk outside, having swept the area and establish a routine about sniper spots, surveillance cameras, and stuff like that.
Very well. No problem. Like I've said, there are no.
So we enter together.
Yeah, there are no cameras here. Like this is really like a worse part of town. You enter together. Into the apartment building.
Do I meet the old lady?
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, I think I would like to. And
okay.
If she noticed my collar.
Yes. The old lady walks down the stairway she sees you entering. Ronnie is right behind you, like a few steps behind you. Oh, hello there, father.
Oh, hello, Mrs. How things this evening?
Miss, I'm...
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No worry. Miss Janowitz, very nice to meet you. Things are very fine, father, very, very fine. I've just spoken to a very nice lady from Red Cross, taking care of poor late Mr. Bowman's things. Yes.
Yes, that's one of my associates. She's a very, very good, hardworking.
Such a sweet girl.
Yeah, she is.
She has a very good heart. I can tell that. just by looking at her.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, Father, for taking care of Mr. Clyde's belongings. He was a very good man, as I've told your co-worker before.
Yes, of course. We need to look out for each other.
Naturally, always. Anyway, I'm sorry, Father, but Mitzi really needs to take a walk.
Of course. God bless.
You too. Have a good day. And with that,
Bye.
she leaves after walking past Ronnie, whom she gives a disapproving look.
I smile at the dog.
You know, the dog barked when you smiled at him.
Also disapproves.
Alison, you've heard Miss Janowitz speaking to your comrades down the stairs, because, like I've said, it's not a big building. Yeah. Well, anyway, your cover works very well. You all meet in front of Clyde Bowman's apartment door.
I lower the handle, open the door, and with a slight bow, I shows the men the way inside.
Very well. Just give me a second here. Okay. Sorry.
I casually scratch the small of my back as I enter the apartment in a casual air.
Okay.
Of course, I'm not really scratching my back. I'm actually holding the gun, which is tucked into my pants.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. By the way, I wanted to ask, Robert and Alison, are you also packing heat?
Yes, I am.
All right. Alison, what about you? Do you have a gun?
Yes, I have.
All right. Cool.
A small one, but it's still a gun.
Yeah. So I will also need you to unless you've already did that. Let me just see. No, you didn't, I think. I will also need to know what kind of gun it is. Just for immersion's sake. And stats, naturally, because different guns have different stats. I already know Ronnie's gun and his gear. Yeah.
Yep.
But, that's like before our next game, so no rush, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the interior of Bowman's small apartment is Spartan and grim. Aside from a patina of cigarette smoke, there is a scant evidence that anyone actually lived there. Just inside the door, a ring of labeled keys hangs from a hook. You can see a well-worn couch facing an archaic squat television that carries probably basic cable only. On the adjacent coffee table are a stack of mostly completed crossword puzzle books, issues of Sports Illustrated and Reader's Digest, and a box of unhealthily artificial donuts, powdered sugar, now crumbling and dry. There is also the adjoining kitchen, which is mostly bare, with a smattering of cans, pens, and boxes. The only human touch is a crudely drawn human figure entitled Grandpa, signed Cassie, and bearing 2 gold stars, probably from the girl's teacher, hanging on the refrigerator. I will upload the handout in a second. Down the hall are a linen closet and a small bathroom. As you open the door to the bathroom, you can see that it is in a disturbed state. A broken towel rack, a cracked shower door, a few fragments of a broken ceramic toothbrush holder swept into a corner. There also persist faint traces of the smell of a corpse. This is where he died. There are also 2 bedrooms at the end of the hall. I just presume that you guys, walk from door to door and open.
I want to look in the closet on the way as well.
Okay, that's why I'm describing it, but if you want to tell me that you're doing something else, then please do. It's for your, benefit.
Just sweep it.
Yeah. The closet, the linen closet, there's nothing interesting inside, essentially. Nothing mysterious, nothing, you know, top secret. It's just a closet.
I would like to go and search the bedroom.
There are 2 bedrooms. That's the kicker. You see.
Oh, there's 2.
Yeah, Bowman occupied one of the 2 bedrooms at the end of the hall. It holds a queen-sized bed and a dresser, on top of which rest photographs of Clyde and his lightweight wife Marlene, high school graduation pictures of his 2 children, a few photos of a grandchild, Cassie, and a ceramic paperweight of a child's handprint with the name Cassie, age 4, crudely painted on it. Now, his second bedroom, he used it as an office and for storage. There is no computer. Bowman was rather archaic person. There are lots and lots and lots of papers and boxes full of papers here. And I do mean lots. You quickly estimate that single person, each one of you, it would take at least 12 hours for a single person to go through the many papers here and systematically examine them. Of course, there are 3 of you, so it will take. It should be made faster. That said, does any one of you have accounting at 30% or better?
Nope. Not
Can't
Robert.
even imagine I.
No.
Okay. So unfortunately, well, you know what Silva said.
Right.
So
All right.
I think we should start cleaning.
First of all, first things first here. Is anybody here skilled in criminology?
Nope.
How about Miss Steele?
I'm fairly good in criminology.
Do you just check the bathroom to see if it seems like and broke the shit falling down and stuff like that?
Or if there's some foul play here.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, I
to cover
can
all
check.
bases.
I can
Um,
check.
Okay,
What do you want to do, Father?
Johanna, Alison, you move to the bathroom and we'll check for eventual criminal signs of criminal activity.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Very well. Oh, sorry, I've also uploaded Cassie's picture. You can see it on the Roll20 criminology roll. Wow, like no joke, Joanna, you are a pro. I didn't even knew that you could do something like this on Roll20. I'm essentially a peasant when it comes to Roll20 and Discord. So you've passed, right? No, you did not.
No, I failed
You
on a
failed.
normal or harder.
Yeah, but that was an easy roll because, like, there's nothing too difficult with what you're trying to do here. So you've actually passed. It took you quite some time, of course, because you wanted to be, thorough.
Very thorough.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the boys, what are you going to do? While Alison is checking the bathroom. They don't know. Sorry, Martin, come again. Something's breaking up.
All right,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
back.
Oh,
I'm back.
Okay.
I would like to check his what's it called? Where he sleeps. Help me out.
Bedroom.
His bedroom, where he and his wife shared a bedroom.
All right.
I'd like to go through if there's some kind of drawer in there, or see some of the personal belongings. Maybe some, because it was kind of archaic and like old school.
Mm-hmm.
See if there is some kind of maybe checkbook, notebook that he keeps, or maybe a calendar, something like that.
Very well. Then please make me. Actually, no, you don't have to make me a roll. Honestly, for that, no roll is needed. You've checked his bedroom very thoroughly. There's nothing here. No suspicious stuff. It's a simple bedroom of a lonely man. A sad place, just like this whole apartment. This whole apartment is very depressing, honestly.
Yeah. So I guess I start to clean that room and open my plastic bags and shove down.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean by cleaning? Because I know if you guys understood what Silva said. He said to only like clean the any evidence linking Bowman to the organization, quote unquote.
I see. I see.
Because the heirs of Bowman, his children, will they will come here in now less than 48 hours. So it probably would be rather strange if they would find a cleaned apartment.
That would be stealing.
Yes, it would be stealing.
Yeah, I guess I misunderstood. But I leave the room and go into Allison.
All right, Allison. Meanwhile, you've checked out the bathroom, and yes, it actually checks out. Bowman died here, probably of a heart attack or a stroke, or something like that, as he was coming out of the bath. He fell. He broke a couple of things. He almost certainly smashed his head on the floor. You're not sure how fatal, was that accident. Head smashing. If it would be fatal, even if he wouldn't, had a heart attack. If the head smashing would be fatal, you're not sure. But there are no signs of struggle. There are no traces of gunpowder. It just looks like he really had a heart attack. It sucks, but it happens.
Yeah, I turn to my colleagues and I tell them that I can't see anything fishy about this. Seems like he just had a heart attack.
I laugh a little bit because in Jamaican, fish is a main homosexual. But
that was quite inappropriate, honestly, in the house of someone who kicked the bucket. He died because he was gay. My God.
Oh my God.
But you didn't see anything gay about it. That's even weirder. That's worse.
Yes.
Sorry.
Let's move on. Yes.
Well,
I'm
that
just gonna
escalated
right out of here now. No, I'm gonna check out the keys. There were some keys hanging on the side of the floor, I think.
Yeah, there are quite a lot of keys on the keyring. Some of them are, big archaic keys, like you're not using anymore in modern times. Others are newer keys, more modern. They are all, some of them, have traces of rust. There's one problem. None of them are actually labeled, unfortunately.
Correct.
Yeah. So, yes.
Okay, guys, we have a problem.
Okay. What's the problem?
We're gonna have to search, of course, the papers here. If I understood correctly, it was a 12-hour job for a single person.
Yes, there are three of you, so it should only take about 4 hours.
Okay.
Let's get
4
started.
hours. But actually, thinking here that the ring. Why does he have a key ring? It's a huge key ring with big archaic non-labeled keys.
Well, you see that one of the keys is a copy of the key to his apartment, but there's of course a small key for his PO box, but other keys you don't really know for what they really are.
Alright, we need to find documentation of where these keys lead. We need to find the P.O. box so we can open it. We need to find what's wrong with him. Why does he have so many keys? Where do they go? Probably the evidence would be hidden, wouldn't it?
Well,
Not asking the handler. I'm not expecting a real answer here.
okay, sorry. So then again, ask me one more time because I didn't quite caught that.
No. I'm not asking.
Oh, you're not asking. Okay, sorry.
So,
But maybe he, he was really old and kept all his stuff here in boxes. So I think we should look through them kind of hasty. But if we don't find anything, we could just take them out and torch them.
right. So we spend the most dreadful 4 hours of my life.
Yes, they are very, very dreadful.
4 hours. None of us will ever get back.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you've switched on the lights in the living room. Probably, you've took out the boxes, the dossiers, stacks of papers, and you've begun to read.
The most important thing is that the stuff that doesn't look interesting, put it back exactly as it was.
You mean the papers?
Ah, so
But-
the ones that we deem interesting, we put them aside.
Okay.
But the things that aren't interesting, that are just boring, we put them back
Okay.
where
Okay.
they were. So
Yeah. Okay. I get what you mean. Well, these were the worst 4 hours of your lives. I'm not even kidding. Hundreds of pages, documents after documents after documents, all of course incredibly, dusty. So you are all coughing and sneezing, and there was absolutely nothing except one thing. After reviewing the papers, you found out that Bowman owned a cabin in a rural area about 4 hours away from New York by car. 4 hours away by car. The papers provide coordinates, but other than that, there's nothing suspicious here. These papers are normal. They are. I mean, you can imagine whatever you want. They can contain whatever you wish, but it's all normal stuff. Nothing fishy, nothing spy related, nothing intelligence related. Normal papers.
all right, we take the references to the cabin
Okay.
as we go to the cabin. Do we do that? What do you say, guys?
Yeah, well, do we think his relatives know about the cabin?
Most probably.
Because then they will wonder where the papers are.
No,
Yeah.
I don't,
Okay.
no, I don't think they would wonder about the papers, but I think they would wonder about the keys.
Shit. Yeah, you're right. We should actually.
Then
But-
we hurry.
But maybe could we copy the key? Well, maybe that takes a longer time.
Takes a long time.
No, copying a key. It takes a few minutes if you have a shop, or rather a specialist who does that.
And I
There
think-
are, of course, locally probably like key makers and cobblers and stuff like that.
we
but
could
I'm
probably
thi-
find that pretty easy. I
Yeah,
think.
no problem.
But I think, don't we just take the key and leave the rest of the key? Because they're visiting their dead father and like, I don't think the cabin maybe is the first thing they think about.
Yeah,
So,
you're probably right. That's
we-
not. Maybe it's not a priority at all.
And we don't actually know which keys to the cabin and which are not, so we're gonna have to take all of the keys. But I mean, honestly, he's dead. They're just gonna go like, okay, where are his keys? I don't know. He's dead. They're probably around here somewhere.
Yeah. Let's just
Yeah.
take the keys and
Yeah.
leave.
Let's just take them.
Okay.
Take the keys, and I take a picture with my cell phone of the coordinates the cabin.
Okay, sure. In that case, what are you doing with the papers? Are you just leaving them here? Because they, like I said, they don't contain anything useful. Or
Yeah, we
We
leave
just
them.
put them back as they were.
all right, excellent. You put them back as they were, and you exit the apartment. Of course, locking it after you leave.
Yes.
Very well. Fortunately, Miss Janowitz either hasn't returned yet, or she has, and she's not bothering you anymore. So you get to your cars, your 2 cars. Allison is once again driving with Rasta Blasta, and and Robert is following in his truck.
Yeah.
And you drive through rain-soaked New York towards the city's borders. You leave the Big Apple behind you. I don't need to tell you that, of course, you've spent almost an hour in traffic. It's New York, after all, unfortunately. But there's radio, music, how notes.
There's always reggae.
Yeah, there's reggae. You're listening to reggae. Alison is also listening to reggae with you because she's in your car. While, of course, Robert is listening. I'm out of touch. You're out of time. Yeah, how notes. Awesome band. I love it.
I think Robert, he listens to something that people wouldn't think we were listening to. So I think some synth music. So
Synth music.
Really really underground synth music.
Oh,
from Germany.
So like new retro wave from Germany. Very well.
Yeah.
Kavinsky. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I listen a lot to a lot of synth myself, so
So do
I upload. You leave New York. Clyde Bowman's cabin, as I said before, it's a few hours away from his apartment by car. It's not difficult to reach, although the last few miles are off the main road and are pretty dangerous in poor weather, so you had to drive carefully and slowly. You eventually approach the cabin. You can see that the cabin itself is 1 story high. The whole building is constructed of wood with a faux log cabin exterior. Essentially, this is a building that pretends to be a cabin, if you know what I mean. You can see that it is heated by a large fieldstone chimney. Probably there's a well nearby, which is feeding water to the whole place. Oh, and it's not raining here. I mean, there's a light drizzle, but nothing too serious. So you exit your cars.
Yeah.
No more reggae,
no-
at least for now.
There's no smoke from the chimney, right?
No, there's no smoke from the chimney. Oh, and I would just like to say that right now it's about 8 p.m. because you've met at noon. At about 1 p.m. you've reached the Bowman's apartment. 4 hours there. Then you had to drive to the cabin, so it's like 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m., stuff like that. So it's getting dark.
Right.
And
First
cold.
of all, before everybody steps out of their cars, I do a quick search of the ground. Any vehicles here recently? If there are any tracks of vehicles?
So So in that case, are you? Did you also give Robert a walkie-talkie?
Yes.
Okay.
Allison got 2 walkies, 1 for Robert and 1 for her, and I kept 1 for myself.
Okay.
And Robert says, "Hey man, what happened with smartphones?"
I'm back off, man. Yes,
Yeah. Give me the walkie-talkie.
they can be tracked, man.
Yeah. And aliens
Babylon.
are listening to us. Yeah.
Yeah, they're-
Aliens and Babylon. Okay.
Okay. In that case, Ronnie or Rasta Blasta or the conspiracy weirdo exits the car and begins to search for lizard men. Sorry, I mean cars. Tracks. Lizardmen tracks.
Tracks of lizardmen. No, sorry, cars.
Yes. Okay, you don't have to roll, obviously. That's actually a huge plus of Delta Green. It explicitly states that if the conditions are right, you don't need to roll. That's the case. No one was here for a very long time. You know that. Yeah. There are no tracks, no tire tracks, no food tracks. You've checked the front of the building. Nothing here.
Alright. Alright, looks safe, people.
Then I start trying the key.
Alison, come again, please.
I walk to the cabin.
Okay. And
I
you,
feel the door. And
uh,
if the door is locked, I try the key.
the door is locked, but one of the keys from the ring fit in.
Oh.
I unlock the door.
You unlock the door. The cabin interior is quiet, and there are more than a few cobwebs. It's very obviously that no one was here for months. Aside from second-hand furniture and a rustic decor, there are essentially well, there's nothing here, except for one thing. At least in the main living / sleeping room, there's also an adjacent restroom. You see that there's a footlocker standing right next to a wall.
I bring the keys and walk towards the footlocker.
Excellent. In that case, Ronnie and Robert, what are you guys doing? Are you going with Alison or are you doing something else?
I'm covering the outside, so I'm actually not going in. I'm standing by the door with my back to the wall, looking outside.
Outside. Okay, so you're covering the area in front of the door. Okay, and you, Robert? Robert has been taken by the lizard man.
No, don't take me, lizard man.
Lizard man.
Damn, lizard man! Stealing my agents? Weehaw!
No, I actually follow Alison inside because I think it's cold. And
Yeah, it's very cold, by the way.
and I'm not as suspicious as my dear colleague, so I follow Alison.
Excellent. You follow Alison inside. Very well. Are you checking the bathroom, or are you going towards the locker? Which, by the way, you can see that this is a footlocker, military footlocker, probably from the Vietnam War era.
I think I go to the footlocker.
Yeah, I'm going to the footlocker as well.
Yeah.
It intrigues me.
Yeah, it
Alright.
catches our eyes, so we walk instantaneously. towards it.
Okay,
My
excellent.
precious, kind of.
Excellent. You see that closer inspection proves. Closer inspection of the footlocker actually tells you that it is indeed from the era of Vietnam War. It's open, actually, but what's more interesting, as you open the footlocker, I presume,
Yes.
there are lots of things there, mementos, but also other stuff, and you know that even at a casual glance, you know that this is the real deal. This is the spy shit right here. But atop the contents is a sealed envelope marked with a triangle in green ink. It's at the very top. Everyone is afraid to open it because
Yes.
I think I would
I
like
open
to.
it.
Yeah, you should, Alison.
I open it.
you open the envelope. Inside there's a letter, apparently written by Bowman himself. I'm going to read it to you, but then I'm going to upload it to handout section on row 20. But first, to whom it may concern, if you are reading this note, I can assume I have died or become incapacitated before I had the courage to complete my final mission. You will find about 20 gallons of gas in the shed behind this cabin. Pour it into the septic tank beside the cabin and ignite it. You'd be happier if you didn't look inside. Please make sure that the remains are kept from my children. I am so sorry. God, please forgive me. Clyde Bowman. This is what it says. There are other things in the footlocker.
I continue looking in the footlocker
Okay.
because I am curious.
Okay. So there are quite a lot of things. Ronnie, are you still camping outside?
I'm walking around the cabin, taking a look at the area. But yeah, I'm keeping the perimeter.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to quickly tell you that outside, behind the cabin, is an outhouse and a shed. And you can also see that 10 yards away from the house, near the edge of the woods, you can see a hatch for what appears to be a septic tank emerging from a shallow pit, not buried as normally, honestly, would be expected from such thing. You can also see, even in the poor light of the evening, that there's earth piled around it, indicating that it stood exposed for, well, probably for years even. That's the information for you, Ronnie. Meanwhile, Alison and Robert, you rummage through the contents of the footlocker.
Yes.
You can see you found reel-to-reel tapes labeled with FBI evidence tags dated 15 August 1972 to 29 September 1972, 20 hours total. There is like what's the name of the device that you use to listen to these tapes?
A Walkman.
Recorder?
No.
Recorder? Yeah. Okay. There's a recorder as well. It's archaic, so to speak. Of course, you don't really know what's on the tapes. You'd have to listen to it. There's also, aside from that, there's also a cardboard box, which you've opened, naturally. Inside there's a neatly folded but very bloody man's suit.
Whoa.
There's also an annotated copy of the doctoral dissertation Sky Devils, Archetypical Figures in Native American Mythology by Karen Barr. Does anyone have anthropology?
Anthropology, yes.
How much anthropology do you have, Alison?
50.
So you don't need to roll to know that this work was rejected by the University of Indiana, Bloomington, in 1985. It was apparently very controversial, but you don't really know why. You would probably have to study it at home to learn more. There are also 3 tear gas grenades, very old, manufactured somewhere like 20 years ago. You doubt that they work, although you can of course rely on luck when using them. Yeah, they are like, you know, they were made in early 80s, late 70s, stuff like that. There is a large iron knife. Someone has archaeology?
No.
No. Okay, so it is engraved with strange symbols. You can't really decipher them. They look to be gibberish. The handle is very interesting. The handle looks like it's made from bone.
But I actually have 20 in occult.
Roll me.
Okay.
Roll me occult.
Oh! Heavenly poops!
Okay. It's of Anglo-Saxon manufacture. By the way, that's tick on your occult.
Oh.
Yeah.
You tick when you fail.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
You
thing
tick when
with
you
the
fail.
Delta Grade.
Oh, it's no, okay.
something you
So
can-
I'm mistaken it with Call of Cthulhu because I think there you tick
Yes,
when you
it's-
succeed. Okay.
Here you learn from mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you tick when you fail between the missions, like during your downtime. Okay, sorry. So in that case, no tick for you. I'm sorry. But you've passed, so I'm going to tell you that this knife is of Anglo-Saxon manufacture, and the engravings are Ockham markings. You cannot decipher them, but you also know that the handle is made from human bone. This is a sacrificial knife. You are almost sure of that. As you touch the item, you feel you're not feeling too well.
Odd.
Yeah, it's like you know that this is essentially a tool for murder, a cold-blooded murder, almost certainly. Other than that,
Congratulations. The first sanity roll? No?
no. You don't need to roll for that. Not yet, at least. I mean, you know, it's a ritual knife. It's like it's more of your you are thinking that it was probably made for nasty stuff, but of course you don't have any proof, and it's not like the knife is bloodied. Actually, it's not. It's very old. Other than that, there's a mundane leather pouch containing hair, teeth, and feathers. The hair looks like it's actually some kind of animal. It belongs to some kind of animal. The teeth, you are sure that the teeth are human and they are very small. Very small. And the feathers naturally are, well,
Human.
yes, they are human as well.
Oh no, the bird people!
The bird people kill the serpent people, and they're after all of you.
No, only after Rasta Blasta.
Yes.
And
Yeah, no, the feathers are actually, yeah, they are blue and light brown. If you have any skill, you know, relating to bird knowledge, you can roll, or if it's high enough, you don't have to roll. But
I have biology.
you have biology?
Yes, I have.
How high?
70.
Oh my god.
right, huh?
Okay, well, it's
I'm a medic and also priest, so it would be
okay, let's tell you what. Since you are a medic, not a veterinarian, you will roll, but you also get a bonus for that. So it's a very easy roll for you.
okay.
Roll me.
You even know the names of the individual birds.
Yeah, you know the names because you've rolled really well. The feathers belong to blue jay and barn swallow. Oh, and since you have biology, you know that the teeth are those of human infant.
And I think that hits me pretty hard when I realize it's from infants.
Yeah. Again, this does not force you to make a sanity roll. You know.
Yeah, but it makes me feel
Yeah.
a bit weird.
Everything in this locker, and I do mean everything in this locker, is weird, except maybe for those tapes. But you don't know what's on them. But that's not all. You've also found one highly magnetized glass sphere, 3 centimeters in diameter. Does anyone have physics? Science physics?
I do. No, I don't. I do. I don't actually.
I'm not asking.
Traded biology for it.
I'm not asking Ronnie, yeah, because you're not there. You can feel that the glass sphere is slightly magnetic.
Possible. Yeah.
Well, you two actually don't know that. You know, you don't have physics. For all you know, maybe it's just weird.
Maybe when we pick it up, it stucks to my bracelet or something.
Yeah, it
Is
does.
Metal.
It does. And
That's how we realize it's magnetic.
and it actually stacks very well. Like, it's not only attracted to it, it stacks to your bracelet.
So I can't take it off?
You
Or
you
it's
can.
really hard?
You can,
Yeah.
but it's pretty hard.
Yeah, okay.
And finally, there's a sizable file regarding something called the Ventaja Corporation, aka Venta. From a quick look into the file, it was an Argentine import-export firm dating from 1965 to 1968. The file begins with an FBI investigation into allegations of weapons smuggling in Miami. As you quickly scan the documents, you see that the investigation ended without prosecution, but your mysterious organization's surveillance of the company continued. Apparently, Bowman uncovered financial ties between Ventaja and accounts mentioned on a World War II era financial watch list called K Group. There was also a raid on a Ventaja warehouse in San Juan, Puerto Rico, which resulted in the recovery of something called the Schill formula. A Manila folder with that title is unfortunately empty. And that's it. Do you start the tapes?
It said 20 hours, right?
Yeah, but FBI tapes or any kind of like law enforcement related tapes usually have someone speaking, about the nature of the case at the very beginning.
Yeah, then I start.
What's happening in there, people?
Sorry, by the way, Ronnie.
I call over the walkie-talkie.
Okay, you call them through walkie-talkie, but do you do something with the buildings that I've mentioned before?
Yeah, I want to check. I want to poke into the shed and the outhouse.
Okay, you wanted to poke into the shed and the outhouse, so in that case I'm going to tell you some stuff. Do you have forensics? 40% or better?
No, I don't.
Okay, so when you've poked into the shed was open. The shed holds an assortment of tools and 21-gallon cans of gasoline. Awful.
21 cans of gasoline.
Yeah, 21 gallon, not 21. Just, 20 cans of 1 gallon.
20 cans of 1 gallon, okay.
Yeah, so that's a shitload of gasoline.
Have we seen a generator at all?
Not outside.
Alright, cool. And various tools. Okay, I poke into the outhouse as well.
Actually, yeah, Allison and Robert, you see that the whole building is actually connected to the local power grid, so it's not powered by a generator. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I think my spontaneous reaction is I start listening to the tapes while I slam the entire footlocker shut and go carrying it out Robert's van.
The footlocker? Okay.
Yes.
Ronnie, are you following her? Sorry, Robert, are you following her?
Yeah, I'm helping her carry the
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, so Alison would have trouble taking it care of it
but I'm
by herself.
Strong.
You are strong, of course. But this is like, this is a steel footlocker made in times of Vietnam War, full of very heavy stuff. Anyway, the audio is of the congregants of an unknown church engaged in a pseudo-Christian service involving snake handling. Frequent mentions are made of Saint Yig, the scaled redeemer, and the blessed serpent. Even after a few minutes of listening to you, you can hear congregants cry out after having been beaten. Yeah, that's weird stuff, so to speak.
Very, very weird.
Yeah.
So the scaled redeemer, well,
yeah.
Maybe the lizard folk aren't that far away from us.
No, probably not.
Dang, Rasta Blasta.
You called it, man.
Yeah, and like I've said, there was also the outhouse. Ronnie, you've checked the outhouse. There's a rather strange thing to you when you think about it. because the cabin here is pretty big. You can see it even if you didn't came in. The cabin this big probably should have a plumbing of its own.
Depends on how old it is, I'm thinking.
It's not old. I mean, yeah, okay, it's like probably have like 20 years old. Perhaps it is 20 years old, or maybe even 30, but it's not that old, and it's in a good condition. By the way, this cabin is in good condition. Yeah, the outhouse, of course, it's an outhouse. It's a shitter, so
Does it seem to be? Is it more recently constructed than the cabin?
Yes, it is. It's a very modern outhouse.
Okay.
Especially because remember, outhouses are not connected to the septic tank. You know that this cabin should have plumbing because there's septic tank nearby.
Exactly, I just saw it.
Yeah. You also see, as you make around, your comrades leaving the cabin with holding a very heavy footlocker, which speaks about serpents and shit, and people getting bitten because they're apparently members of some kind of cult.
Oh yeah, okay. What the hell are you people doing?
When we have arrived at the car and put down the footlocker, I bring the letter to him.
Yeah, you receive Clyde's letter, which I'm going to upload because I forgot about that. Yeah, but you essentially can read Clyde's letter, although now it's pretty dark, so you need either to read it in the doorway or use a flashlight.
I lift up my smartphone and put up the...
Or use a smartphone, yeah. Just like Alison did right now.
Oh god, I shake my head. Please tell me you didn't bring your personal smartphone to a mission.
VPN, love. VPN.
Alright. I scoff a little bit at her and then I use her smartphone to read the letter.
Okay. You read the letter, which, by the way, I've uploaded to the handout section.
Plenty. Here we go.
Shite. Sorry.
Alright.
I can't into roll 20. Okay.
And here comes
Alright.
the Saved Redeemer.
Clyde's letter is at the very bottom. You can read it all for yourselves if you wish. I'm going to take care of the of the whole handout stuff later after the game. Yeah. So I presume that you place the footlocker in Robert's truck because let's be honest, it's bigger and more
it's
suited.
too big for the sports cars. So
Yeah. Sports cars have rather small trunks. Sorry. Okay, you place the footlocker there. Are you turning off the tape, or is it still speaking?
I'm listening for as long as I can. So I think it keeps going.
Okay, it keeps going. In that case, suddenly you hear, apparently one person in the crowd of those, members of the congregation of Sandy is refused medical treatment for the snake bites and begins suddenly wailing in agony. Very loudly and very horribly. Everyone make me a sound check.
Damn it! I stayed out of the cabin, now you bring the shit out to me.
Yeah, because, like, no joke, the sounds of her wailing, it's a woman, are horrible.
Okay, here we go.
Like something we never heard before.
Yeah. You've passed. Just Alison passed. Everyone passed. Alright, very nice.
Whoop whoop.
Wow.
First sanity roll of the game.
And we did it!
You have very high sun, nice.
Yeah, you other people have high sound.
Yeah, well. Yeah, in that case, you are surprised, to say the least, but not shaken. Yes.
What the hell have you people found in there?
Have you read the letter?
I read it. I read it.
Yeah, I guess it's related to that.
What the hell is in the septic tank then?
Well, I have no idea, but I've actually found some kind of occult dagger, a sacrificial one.
You've took the dagger with you?
Yeah, it's in the footlocker.
Okay.
Okay, so
Or maybe we shouldn't.
I look a little bit over your shoulder there, and sort of like footlocker, just checking basically to see what kind of stuff is in there.
It's the stuff that I've mentioned before. There's this this damnable, recorder, a cardboard box which is closed, but Allison and Robert know that inside there's a very bloody man's suit. There's the strange book Sky Devils, Archetypical Figures in Native American Mythology by Karen Barr. 3 tear gas grenades, very old. A large iron knife which looks nasty, especially its handle looks nasty. The leather pouch, which you'd have to look inside to see the contents. The glass sphere, strange glass sphere. And a huge file regarding something called the Ventaja Corporation.
Strange glass sphere. Would science chemistry be any help?
No, actually you would need physics.
Right, cool. Okay. Right, these are obviously very much so evidence things that we need to take with us and report in, I guess.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
do we do with this septic tank?
Sorry, by the way, Ronnie, are you telling them about the gasoline?
And no. I'm dumbstruck by the things that they have found and by the tape recorder which screams out of the trunk of the car.
Yeah.
So no, I forget about the gasoline.
Okay. Yeah, the tape, by the way, is still coming, still going.
Is
Do
it
we?
still screaming?
Sorry, one more time.
Is it still like screaming?
No, it's not. The tape is essentially divided between probably some FBI agent telling about this whole pseudo-Christian service, and recordings of the masses. Of the ceremonies themselves. They are rather strange. Like I said, these people were voluntarily bitten by the snakes to get closer to their saint, one Saint Yig, the Scaled Redeemer, or the Blessed Serpent.
Okay, they're fucking nuts.
Yeah. And according, of course, to the tapes, the whole thing took place in the southern part of the United States, near Louisiana.
Alright.
Thanks.
Well, it's getting dark out here. Should we turn off the recorder and get inside? See what we can find inside?
Yeah, let's turn it off, shall we?
Okay, you turn off the recorder
I'm just
without any
gonna.
problems.
I'm just gonna. Iron knife right now. Just as a security
occult one?
precaution. Yeah, the occult one. I'm just gonna be with me as an extra weapon. Presently, I'll put it back in the evidence later on.
Well, I think that's a pretty bad idea.
Is that?
Yeah, we shouldn't be messing with that dagger. It felt weird. So let's keep everything in the trunk. Let's go inside and check, I think.
All right. Oh, cool. I have my own.
Because this, you never know with these kind of things. When it comes to religious artifacts, you should have at least respect, I think.
Guys, give me 1 second. I need to grab myself a cup of water. Okay, if you want to take a small break, now it's probably a good time.
All right. I'll run off and.
Yeah, few minutes
Okay.
and we're back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. I'm back.
Oh!
Hallå!
Ja, vad fan gör vi med det här då?
Vadå?
Tankjäveln
Ja.
är.
Ja, dolken och grejsen.
Vad är tanken?
Vad är tanken?
Fan har hänt liksom? Det är ju... Vi borde... Ja. Nu är det ju så här. Nu är det ju Call of Cthulhu-tema så man vill ju inte gärna lyssna igenom de här banden.
Nej, men samtidigt, jag tror vi har hört det mesta av just de grejerna. Jag är rätt intresserad vad som har hänt kring det här hans sista uppdrag han snackade om man kan lyssna efter det.
Ja.
Eller luska ut det på något sätt, va?
Hans blodiga kostym som var snyggt ihopvikt. Varför ligger den där?
Ja, den borde vi öppna och titta på.
Och ett syfte till varför du sparar en sån grej.
Precis. Och jag menar, det kanske inte är hans ens en gång. Det vet vi inte.
Jag tänker, i alla andra spel i hela världen så hade man ju bara åh, häftigt, det här behåller vi, det blir ledtrådar. I det här så är det bara förinta det. Vi vill inte veta.
Precis därför jag sa att du inte skulle ta kniven.
Mm.
När du ligger där och sover sen i huset, kniven bara börjar babbla med dig. Du knivar ihjäl oss, end of story.
Ja, fast jag tänker att om det skulle vara någonting nu i den här septic-tanken så är säkert kniven sättet att döda den på.
Om du tänker om det är något monster där i.
Fan, skulle vi annars hälla 20... Ja, vad blir det? 20? Det blir över... Det blir fan...
Jag tänker-
bensin i och sen tända på.
Jag tänker för att man vill bli av med bevismaterial.
Ja, men vad har han där i? Har han skitit så illa liksom?
Vad snackar ni för skit nu?
Han har gjort sånt okult bajs. Bara, åh, septic tank!
Han har klämt ut en sån jävla burrito att han måste hälla 75 liter bensin i och tända på.
Alltså fatta vad roligt om han fortfarande spelar in och bara vad fan pratar de om? Och ber någon att översätta.
Det kommer han behöva klippa bort i så fall.
Jag tror också det. Prata lite om vad vi ska göra med...
I'm just saying.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Got myself a drink so I can continue
We're
to entertain you.
We're making some really bad jokes.
Like what? Please tell me.
Basically like his diet being deficient and just producing something in the septic tank that we needed to blow up.
Oh, so like he had a really bad cramps, right? Stomach cramps. Yeah, well, septic tanks are always fun. Anyway,
Which I actually had never heard in my life before.
speaking of septic tanks, what is your course of action? It's pretty late, as I've said before. It's very cold. Alison, you are especially not feeling very comfortable in your high heels because, like, you know, there's no concrete here. You are standing on a very soft, muddy ground. Just so you know.
I know.
Alright.
Yeah. What now? Okay, the serpent people arrive.
Maybe.
If I understood it correctly, what we're meant to do is basically tank, we take the stuff, and we leave.
Yeah, so let's get inside. Or should we also take the gasoline into the car? Or should we check the septic tank to see what he wanted to blow up and see if we might want it to blow up?
We thought about it, and we also know that there is, in his footlocker, there's a couple of things that don't really make sense. The bloody man's suit, neatly folded.
Yeah, that is really suspicious.
By the way, of course, the blood is old. Like
Of course.
it's not fresh blood, but there's a lot of it.
Yeah, but who keeps a suit covered in blood
Yeah.
and
Why don't
Without
folds
washing it.
neatly? Yeah, exactly my point. Also.
If you look at the suit, if you try unfolding it a little bit, is it torn or is it complete? Is it the person who was wearing it? Is it his blood from injuries,
It's
or
not.
is it somebody
It's
else?
not torn. Aside from blood, it was very neatly folded and in a very well condition.
Right, so it's not the person's blood. Did he sacrifice somebody for some reason?
Possibly.
Is it the knife that made him do it?
Possibly.
Possibly.
I think he was just fucked up in the head in that case, but a little bit discomforted here. So I look at actually the case officer here, the handler, which is Miss Steele.
Yeah. I think we should go inside and continue looking. Or, if we want to, we can check in the septic tank, but I think it's getting too dark. Maybe we should stay over the night to be able to see in daylight.
Yeah.
All right.
And things are maybe a lot less scary in daylight.
Most things are.
Do you guys have anything to eat or drink?
No.
Ellison likes to train, so she always have a protein bar in her handbag.
Okay, sure. I mean, for simplicity's sake, let's say that you all have like a bottle or two of mineral water in your cars. Yeah, maybe some Mars bars or Snickers, stuff like that.
Snickers.
Yeah.
Because you're not you when you're hungry.
Yes.
You are lizard people.
Yeah.
You are lizard people when you're
Damn lizard people! Yeah, but other than that, you have nothing to eat or drink, no clothes to change into. Although that's not that big of a deal, honestly. Fortunately, it's not it's not hot summer right now, so at least you're not sweaty.
No, it's no
Yeah.
no cause for alarm. I'm just postpone. If we're just gonna blow the tank, don't we do it now? I'm just thinking something in the septic tank, like for instance, let's say that it's something biological or chemical, and it leaks up through the plumbing into the cabin with the plumbing. We get infected or whatever. Oh, anyone?
One more time. I did not quite understand everything.
I was just thinking, if he had something, he had ties between a World War II K group and the Vetaja Corporation or something. It was weapon smuggling. Let's say that it was biological weapons or chemical weapons. Put the stuff in the septic tank for storage.
Ah, now I catch your drift.
If we sleep in the cabin and it leaks up through the plumbing and affects us during the night,
Would you rather spend 4.5 hours home and 4.5 hours back tomorrow?
oh hell no! I'd just torch the tank and get out of here.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Let's go out check the tank.
Yeah, we should do it.
Okay.
Wait. I go over to the trunk of my car first.
Uh-huh.
And
What do you
I
take
get
out?
He puts on some Rasta man.
Oh no, please.
I stand actually at the car for a little while, thumbing my trunk, but I don't pull anything out.
Okay.
I just take the stuff that I've got on me.
So are you taking anything?
I do have the stuff that's listed in the equipment on person.
Yeah, I have. Let me just quickly
That's
see.
everything.
On you. On person. So that's what you have on you right now.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, excellent. So you guys make your way to the septic tank. First of all,
Let's go.
what about the source of light?
I do have a flashlight under my gun.
Oh yeah, you have. Yeah, you see that Ronnie pulled out a gun, a Zig Zauer. and he switched on the small tactical light underneath the barrel. As you approach the septic tank, it's actually... well, first of all, you notice the oddness of having a functioning outhouse at a cabin that has a septic tank and, you presume, running water. Second of all, the septic tank is... you can clearly see that it is much larger than necessary for the cabin. It's nearly 2 meters deep, probably, nearly 2 meters wide, and 3 meters long.
Jesus.
And
He must like his tacos.
yeah, and it's quite a it's at the very edge of the forest, quite a long way away from the cabin. That's also not completely normal in this case. But
it's an like a common underground septic tank, or is it
yeah, that's the thing.
yeah.
The septic tanks they're almost never buried like that, not completely like that. And there's a padlock. There's a padlock
Okay.
on the cover of the septic tank.
Still, I think you have the keys if you want to get in there.
Yeah, let's start. Why not?
I'm standing well back, and I'm giving her some light, i.e., pointing the gun at the hatch.
I'm unlocking the septic tank.
If it's gas, should we like... What's in the gas grenades that you found in the footlocker? Is that like a foreshadow of something bad to come here?
Or is it just showing his history as someone from the army?
Like with the teeth?
Well, those are creepy.
That's
something so
history
very-
of something else, not the army.
There's something so very creepy about this. I'm gonna start hauling out cans of gas.
Okay, so are you leaving some source of light with them?
I think she has a cell phone, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you have a cell phone, yeah, a smartphone with a small, flashlight.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, so Ronnie, you are beginning to haul cans of gas towards the septic tank. Meanwhile, Robert and Allison, what are you doing?
I'm opening the septic.
Okay, as you approach to open the septic tank, you can also see that the mechanism, the hatch, the handle and hinge are well oiled, actually.
So probably it's been opened pretty recently.
Yes, although you don't really know how recently. One of the keys from Bowman's ring actually fits the padlock. The padlock is very heavy. It's a sturdy padlock. It's one of those padlocks that are used to really keep the thieves from not breaking in. It's not.
Or someone from getting out.
Yes, although it's rather interesting train of thought on your part. But sure.
I am not getting in. No matter what happens, I'm not getting in the septic tank. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. So anyway, you open the tank.
Yes, and I take a few steps back
Okay, but
when I open it.
you open. I presume that you open like hatch and everything.
Yes.
All right. You open the
And
tank.
I have gotten my gun in my hands.
Sure.
What do you mean by hatch and everything, by the way?
Well, I mean, the padlock and the hatch.
Okay, yeah.
You open the hatch. Of course, the smell is atrocious. It's honestly one of the worst things that you ever smelled in your life. Old, stale human excrement, dampness, and something else that you can't really put your finger on. It stinks. As you took a few steps back, Allison, you suddenly hear a voice coming from the tank. Help me! Help me!
Oh Lord have mercy.
It's a voice of an old woman, very weak, very croaky. Voice of someone who's been locked without food and water for a very long time and who is probably on her last legs. Help!
So much excrements.
Have mercy
actually
on
kill
me!
Allison, we have to get her out.
Or do we?
Come on. We need to get her out. We can't leave an old woman.
Yeah, and how should we explain this? Drive her to a hospital and say we found her in a septic tank?
My
Yeah.
husband put me here. He went insane. I beg you, please help me.
Ask her what her name is.
What's your name?
I am Marlene Bowman. Please, I beg you.
Died of cancer, didn't she?
I run away to my car and I get a rope.
Very well.
Throw down into the tank.
Yeah. Hold up with the rope, okay?
Sorry, Ronnie, what are you doing? Are you still like lagging
Yeah.
cans, or have you dropped them and
Yeah, I drag some cans out to the hatch. When I see that the Reverend here has gone bananas, I actually stop and try to stop him. Take a minute here and think about this, okay?
What should I think about?
I beg you!
Don't you hear?
Please show me the light. I can see it. Free me, please. My
To
husband.
help her, goddammit!
My husband. He did something to me. Some kind of ritual,
Yeah.
prayer, pagan ritual.
Do you hear? Pagan ritual? It all makes sense. We need to help her out of the septic tank. Please, release me.
I'm dying.
Dude, it's first of all, at least 4 days, right?
Yeah.
4 days.
How long does a person last without water?
3 days.
Human.
Isn't
Exactly.
it? Isn't it? 3 days. Yeah.
An old, weak woman would not last 5 days without water inside a septic tank. And she definitely would not last since when did she die? 2002?
Yeah,
17 years?
16 actually. We were playing in
Maybe-
2018.
Maybe she's been hidden here. He has fed her some kind of water or some kind of food, just enough to keep her alive.
Oh, dude, there's one more thing.
Extra round to kill
She,
people.
by the way, she's wailing all the time. I'm not going to, of course, say that constantly, but she's crying, wailing, begging you for mercy, begging you to let her out of this. Saying that her husband, he wanted to have her only for himself, and that he was a monster. He did something to her. She doesn't know what, blah blah blah, etc., etc.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's not gonna work. She's not coming out of there.
But how can you say that? We need to help her.
First of all, come on, you know the rules of the operation.
Yeah, I know, but
Do your job.
yeah, but what would Jesus think of me? Come on, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know.
But okay, could we maybe use the light to see if she looks weird or
Yeah,
something?
of course
How
you
she
can.
looks?
You can.
Could you do that, Allison?
Should I? It's you who want her out of there. You can
Yeah, but
you
we
can
can
borrow
look-
my phone, but
Yeah, I will borrow your phone and
Yeah.
and see how she looks like. If she looks like zombie scaly shit, we close the hatch and then we pray to Christ together. Yes,
blow up the place.
I'm all for that. But for now, we need to find out more about her.
All right. Push the hatch closed first a little bit. A couple of cans of gas just by the hatch.
Please
Before-
help me! Help me!
Before Mr. Anderson shines his light in there, I take a few steps back and I point the gun at the gasoline.
Don't blow me up, man.
Yeah, by the way, you know that's not going to work probably. You know, shooting a gasoline can works only.
I do have a Zippo lighter as well.
Oh yeah,
I'm just shooting holes in the gas.
In that case, sure, but you know, normally only in the movies.
Parts are needed. I know that.
Yeah. Okay, so Robert, you approach the hatch with Alison's phone, and you flash a light inside.
Yes.
You see that she's huddled weakly in there, in the shallow water, reaching a hand feebly up to you, covering her face with the other hand because she's not accustomed to the light. On the first glance, she looks like a small, somewhat misshapen nude woman in her 50s. In the light, you can see that her flesh is of a very unhealthy grayish-blue color, and she has torn out most of her hair. You can also see that her hands are blood-stained, the flesh at the tips of the fingers stripped by constant clawing at the walls. You think that her feet and lower legs are swollen from frequent immersion in water. This woman went through hell, essentially. This is some really fucked up shit.
Jesus Christ.
I yell to her like, for how long have you been there?
I don't know. He locked me here so long ago. I don't know. He did something. Said some strange words. He said that he want me only. He want me only for himself. Please help me out. I want to live.
I don't think we will get any useful out of her unless we get her out of this tank and get her some help. Hello?
Yeah. The lizard people took them.
The lizard people took me. Oh, I'm sorry. I think we need to get her out of here because we won't get anything useful out of her unless we give her some help.
You're not gonna get anything useful out of her. Dude, it says no evidence. You know what to do. You really do.
Yeah, I really do, but can't we make an exception? You know, she could be... keep her mouth shut or something?
How exactly? How?
I don't know. We could hide her in my ministry or something.
Look, and actually, as you've noticed, I've lost my Jamaican accent fully. So it's kind of ridiculous walking around as a white person with blonde dreadlocks.
Now you're in serious mode.
I have a plan, actually. I go over, and from the shed, I pick up 2 cans of gas, and I go over and stretch them out to Reverend Anderson. To do, man.
Okay.
To go.
Are
She
you
needs to
telling
go.
me? Are you telling me to kill this woman in cold blood?
No, man. I'm asking you to pour gasoline on her.
And you will light the fire?
Yep.
No, man. You have to do it on your own. And I walk away.
Okay.
Miss Steele, what do you say?
Miss Steele has been taken by the lizard people.
Yes, she has. Oh.
What do you say? He walks away, the Reverend.
She continues to wail and plead for mercy. By the way, she sounds like a normal woman if that's what you're asking. Remember that.
Doesn't help, man. Is there... Yeah.
Like a very old, very... well, half dead, essentially, half dead woman who went through hell. Just so you know. For your
Now he's trying to make us feel guilty. Do you notice
Oh,
that?
yeah.
That's because you are guilty. If you go through with this, You hear my voice. I come back with rope. I come back with rope.
Okay.
Hello again.
He comes back with rope. Okay.
Miss Steele,
Because
please,
you
close
you
and
will
lock
be
the hatch.
guilty of murder.
That's true.
Yes.
Well, what he says is basically true. Remember, you're not out of the game. You're not part of the organization yet. You don't know about supernatural, essentially, when it comes to exposure and stuff like that. But of course, I'm not going to tell you how to play or what to think. Just inform you that yeah.
So the
Yeah.
thing is, the only thing we know that he liked some occult shit.
Do we have any phone number to Silva?
No, actually not. Silva always contacts you through various means, so to speak. Like random number calls from public phones, emails from encrypted emails, stuff like that. He never uses a single method of contacting you.
Make sure that we can't reach him.
Yeah, exactly. It's all very, very high-level spy stuff.
Commonplace, I think.
Could I throw the rope down to her and try to pull her up?
Of
Just
course.
Ignore.
Of course.
No.
The others?
Close and lock the hatch until we are decided what to do.
Maybe she doesn't have that much time, and even if she's very injured, so what could she possibly do?
All right.
Being afraid.
The thing is
All right,
this.
get her
Who
out.
is covered in feces? Come
Oh,
on, man.
come on. Are you gonna pull her out so that we would have to kill her? You know, we're here to remove evidence, not create it.
Don't you understand? You are already here to kill her. That's what you are saying. So it wouldn't even matter to you. If we drag her out, you get to kill her anyway.
Yeah, in that case, you're not sure if Silva meant killing people by removing evidence.
And actually, here, just for a little bit of extra out of character stuff, you can actually see that the Reverend's words are actually affecting Mr. Rastaman pretty badly because very unsure of himself.
What did you say? He's sure about himself?
Unsure.
He's getting
Unsure.
unsure.
Unsure. Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
He seems like a really badass military kind of guy, but he's actually never in his career shot at a human person. But he's a virgin so far.
Oh, they knew that. Cool.
Well,
Damn.
yeah, that's why I didn't add the accustomed to violence and stuff like that. So
Okay.
he's a real rookie.
Okay.
So in
Wait,
that case,
so you were in special forces and didn't kill anyone? Wow.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
so in that case, I kind of sense that he's unease about my confrontation. Could I roll something to maybe dominate him?
Persuade.
Or persuade him or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. You can't persuade you can dominate other players if you use hypergeometry, which is essentially magic in Dota Green. But other than that, you can use your skills to do that.
I am not magic priest.
Yes.
No, but your arguments are actually winning me over.
Yeah.
So
When it comes to interaction between you guys, it's all about role playing. You can try and do that with NPCs if you were so, of course. But even then, it will be more about role playing than just only rolling dice. Just so you know.
Allison says to Robert that, we can get her out, but it's on you.
Of course it's on me. Jesus Christ. Come on, help me here with a rope sling. Then I'm throwing it to the.
All right.
I take the rope and help pulling.
All right.
I help as well, actually. It's an old woman. She's no danger to us, so I put the gun away and I start helping pull her out.
Very well.
Oh, I don't put my gun away.
If you want to help him with the rope, you have to put the gun away. Especially you, Allison, because you are standing in your heels. So that's pretty hard for
Yeah.
you to, use rope while in
Well, I
high
put
heels.
the gun in my bra, and I pulled the rope.
What?
Oh, look at those guns!
Ballistics. Okay. Okay. Sure. So.
You can put everything in a bra, okay?
Okay. So
Alright,
you
we
put the gun.
We put
Okay.
the footlocker in her bra.
Okay. So you put the gun in the bra. No problem. You grab the rope, and all three of you haul Marlene out of the hole. She grabbed for dear life to the rope, and crying and sobbing, you bring her out. She lies on the ground for a second, and then she shakily gets on her legs.
Is there a blanket inside the cabin? Can we get a blanket or something?
I actually know a lot of medical stuff. Maybe I could help her out.
Yeah, she of course says, thank you so much. Please roll me human.
Sure.
Sure. All of us, or only?
Oh, all of you.
I'm lost in the windows here.
Okay, Joshua 83. Nope. You only have 10% human.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Why? Do you suggest I need more?
No. Jim wrote 69. The number.
Oh God, that was me.
Sorry, I'm childish. I know.
That's still funny.
Yeah. That said, Alison, you've spotted, when you look at her, you can't tell what to make of her body language and mannerisms. They're all strange, but then again, she's been stuck in a septic tank for, well, all these years, unable to, to get out, so that should be no surprise. That said, you sense a strange disconnect between her speech and her facial expressions and mannerisms. It's unlike any you have ever encountered.
Alright.
Oh, actually, I got 39, not 69.
You have 69?
No, I got 39.
39.
Yeah.
Because I see on the row 69. But,
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Yeah?
I did not
Yeah.
scroll down. No, my bad.
oh,
It
okay.
was an old roll.
Yeah, you were up there.
In the rolling of 69.
Okay, so, yeah, so that's what you see, Alison.
Yeah.
You guys, you only see a half-dead woman in her late 50s, naked, covered in feces. You can see that her legs are essentially rotting away. She's been in the water for so long that, they will probably have to take her legs off. Yeah.
I go over to Father Anderson. I place my hand sturdily on his shoulder and I say to him, "The car
What are you saying to him?
goes in your car."
Okay.
We got a
That's
human.
so mean.
Yeah.
We got the
I
humanitarian
kinda
here.
love it.
I run into the cabin to try to get a blanket or something for her to cover her up.
Okay. You run for the cabin. Right. What, Alison and Robert? What are you going to do now? Marlene is standing here, shaking completely. Although, like I said, Alison, you've spotted something. Something.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
Thank you so much.
Like
My
a
husband,
a
he-
disconnect, or does it seem like she's like
Like the words that she's saying do not match her facial expression, like her
Like she's
her
wearing-
facial movement. It's really weird.
She's wearing a human suit.
No, it's more like a bad lip sync. like you're watching a TV series or a movie, and the words don't match what the people are saying on the screen.
Yeah. All right.
But
So it's not so, or is it like she's not showing the same emotion?
no, she actually tries to. Well, she is showing emotion. She's very scared, but also you can see that she's grateful, although still scared. She looks very tired, very haggard, very exhausted. But like I said, it's more about the disconnection between her facial expressions and her speech, and mannerisms as well. By the way, Ronnie,
Alright.
you are returning with the blanket.
I wrap her in the. No, actually, I give the blanket to the Reverend,
Mhm.
to the minister.
Which one of you had biology or medicine or stuff like that?
I do.
The Reverend.
Also has 80 in first aid.
Okay, so roll me, father,
First aid?
or biology, whichever you prefer.
A normal success.
Normal success. You're not really sure. Maybe it's because it's dark. Maybe it's because you're tired and, let's be honest, pretty hungry. Maybe it's because you're all on edge, but you don't think that she breathes.
Shit. So I take the blanket and then I put it around her
Yeah.
gently. Then I rise from her and takes a few steps back, and then I tell the other guys that
Thank you,
Maybe-
thank you so much.
yeah, of course. I need to speak with my colleagues for a second. We'll be right back with you. I promise.
Oh, please, please do.
Guys, I think
You're all making a few steps in a random direction away from her, I presume.
yeah.
Okay.
And guys, there is, maybe it's because I'm hungry, or because it's dark, but I did not sense her breathing.
Her face doesn't match up.
So what should I mean? We
You
can't just
you see that she's
kill her.
making. It's not that she's making her way towards the edge of the forest. She's moving her way closer to the edge of the forest. Like one shambling step at a time.
step. Can she walk on those legs?
Yeah.
Holy.
I mean,
Look
it's
over
not
there.
like she's walking. She tiptoes.
No, okay. Guys, she's trying
Get
to
out of here.
get away.
I raise my gun.
You point your gun at her.
Yes.
I raise mine as well.
Oh,
And
oh my God!
I call out. Where are you going?
I need to go. There's no reason for this. Young people, please.
No reason. You're badly injured. You should come with us either inside or to an hospital.
I'll be fine. Thank you. Now that
No, you won't be fine. You have been caught in there for several days. You won't be fine. Trust me, I'm a medic.
please let me go. Please.
Where are you going?
Exactly.
Far
Where are you
away
going?
from here. I'm
That's
fr-
you ha-
Really bad answer.
I'm
But you have no clothes, and it's very cold. You will.
roll me human, men and women of Delta Green. Human, sorry.
Human. Okay.
Or wait a second, because or perception.
I prefer.
There's no perception there. Yeah, I keep mistaking it with Warhammer. Sorry, guys. Wait.
Oh yeah.
Or alertness. Human or
This is very nice. Very nice. Here we
I
go.
would like you. Yeah, alertness.
okay. So Josh passed. Sorry, Alison passed.
Oh, critical!
Yeah?
I
Yeah.
also rolled critical.
You wrote critical, Joshua?
No,
Oh,
you're
wait,
sure I just
Jim-
got success.
No, Jim wrote, sorry. Okay.
My
Yeah.
father rolled.
Yeah, so, okay, Joshua is, okay, so Joshua is Ronnie. Okay, sorry. Right. So, first of all, Alison and, what's his name? Ronnie. Or Joshua, sorry, yeah. You see that, well, you see that she's in a high state of alert right now. Not quite as defeated as she seems. While Reverend, you see that her movements changed. She looks like an animal ready to pounce, but that's not the worst part. The worst part is that in her current state she shouldn't be able to move like that. You can see her muscles, tensing. She lowers her head, and you can swear to your God that her bloody fingers elongate. No, not elongate. The bones of her fingers sharpen and lengthen. In the strange light, weak strange light of Alison's cell phone and Joshua's tactical light, you see that Marlene's hands turn into claws.
I shoot.
Yeah, okay, like I said, that part only Robert sees, but Alison, if you want to shoot, of course.
But do I have time to call out shoot for God's sake?
Yes. Essentially, Robert cries, "Shoot for God's sake!"
Shoot. We shoot all of us, I think.
You open fire, but
Yes.
she is fast. Now please tell me your dexterity stats. Who has the highest dexterity of you all?
I have 13.
13
I have
or
10.
13 or 30?
13. So the score.
yeah.
Okay, 13 Robert, 10 Alison, Ronnie.
14.
How much?
14. So I'm 14.
14. She's first.
He's first. Oh, fast.
You are squeezing your triggers when Marlene pounces.
Are any sanity rolls involved in this?
Yes, because when she pounces at you, you can also see that her eyes change. Her eyes glow, light greenish glow. She emits some kind of strange sound, something like shriek and wail, but nothing human. And yes, she's pouncing at you. Please roll me a sun check.
And check. Every one of us?
Yes, every one of you. Because this old half-dead lady jumps like half a dozen meters towards you, slashing her claws.
Hurrah!
Alright, in that case, let me just quickly see. In that case, you all lose only one sanity point.
Alright, lose one.
So it's the current.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are 3 of you. Let's see. I need to roll. Alison, she jumps towards you, slashing and screeching.
Rolls first.
Yeah.
Yep. Her razor sharp claws are well, they are coming towards you.
Can I try dodging?
Yes, but in that case you will lose your essentially your action this turn.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
So you need to take the hit if you want to shoot her.
Yes, then I do.
So you are taking the hit. Okay. Moving faster than anything you ever seen in your lives before, Marlene pounced at Alison and slashed her with her claws. Alison, she cut you deep, very deep. The pain is excruciating. You lose 5 hit points.
5?
Yes. But you should still be up.
Barely.
Okay. How much do you have? Because if you have 2 or less, then you fall unconscious.
No, I have 4.
All right. She slashed you. She slashed you on your shoulder, very deep, very hard. Alison cried out in pain. You guys, she's standing right in front of you. Who's next? Who's who has the second highest dex?
That would be me, Joshua. Can I argue that we spent last round aiming at her?
If you want to take aim action, you can't, because she jumped at you. If she would still be standing, no problem. But what she did was, jump 6 meters high in the air towards you. So the aim is ruined, unfortunately.
Oh, holy shit! Okay, then I just shoot.
Okay,
basically.
now be aware that if you botch, you may hit one of your colleagues. Just so you know.
I am so cool with that.
Okay.
I'm just scared shitless out of this because I've never seen or imagined anything like this in my entire life. I'm not even a religious man here. I just saw somebody that jumped 6 meters from standing still, so I just shoot, no matter what.
Very well. You fire your gun at her. Roll.
Here we go.
Nice. You've hit. Roll damage.
And that would be what?
You are no. You are using your standard weapon, and I should have it somewhere here. It's like this. Oh yeah, sorry. I've just read it today. Just give me a second. You will have to excuse me. I've played Delta Green for a couple of months, but it was some time, so I will need to remember some things.
I'm looking as well.
D10, 1d10. Roll.
1d10, here we go.
Yeah. The bullet, you swear to God, it bounced from her.
It bounces.
Yes.
Oh.
You've shot... actually, because when you shoot in Delta Green, it's even described that you usually shoot a couple of bullets. It's not like one. So, you've quickly did 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. One of those bullets missed completely. One you think grazed her. The other bounced from her skull.
Alright.
Yeah. Who's next?
That would be me.
Alright. You have your gun out?
Yes, I have my gun out.
Okay.
I think I have a pretty common one, a Beretta
M9? Yeah, M9. So, United States Army designation for Beretta 92?
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. And it's also a D10 if I...
first you need to hit, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I roll firearms.
Yes, you roll firearms.
There.
No, unfortunately not. You fired a quick succession of shots. They all went wide, unfortunately. The Marlene thing hisses and spits. She's saying gibberish. She's saying words in a language that should not exist because it hurts your ears. You don't understand it, but at the same time you do. Now it's Alison.
Yes, and I shoot as well, and I have the same kind of gun.
Yeah, you quickly take a few steps back because in combat, in Delta Green, you basically only have a single action. Usually. But even if you shoot, it's written that you can take, you can move like up to essentially 3 meters. So I presume that you quickly take a few steps back, raise your gun, fire.
Yes.
roll.
No.
No, unfortunately not. Same here. The bullets just fly in all directions. It doesn't help that you are essentially you don't feel your left arm. Well, you feel only pain. And you can feel the blood trickling down your arm. The Marlin thing looks at all of you, hisses, and then makes a jump. It's no joke, at least a dozen meters high into the air towards the edge of the wood. And she...
last round before she's gone?
Yeah, you can even, you instinctively fire in the air as she jumps away from you. It's as effective as you expect in this situation. Firing in the middle of the night, well, not in the middle of the night, but very late evening, being completely terrified, out of your wits, out of your minds. Even if you hit her, and you don't think you did, the Marlin thing disappears into the woods, and you hear her running through the undergrowth, further into the woods. There's silence, except
Creature, take care of steel.
Except for Alison, who falls to her knees, out of impulse and pain that is now hitting her like a sledgehammer once adrenaline slowly stops working. What are you doing now?
I think that
I'm just like grunting.
All right.
And I think that I, out of instinct,
Yeah.
rush towards her, as I've been a medic.
Yeah. All right.
And try to help her.
You have first aid. You have your first aid kit
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, I think no, it's by the car, but the car is really close. So I rush to the car.
Okay.
And then back to her.
And then back to her. Excellent.
Cover them. Cover them back to the cards with a gun.
Alison, I will need you to make me a Constitution roll.
Constitution.
Singing and bleeding.
I won't do well at this. No, I did not.
All right, but that's not a fumble, so it's not tragic. Ronnie, Joshua, whatever your name is, what are you doing?
Oh. Yeah.
I'm covering them, throwing their ass into the car.
Okay, so you grab them both. You grab her because Robert is running towards the car, and he quickly comes back with a first aid kit. And he begins to administer first aid to Alison. Robert, normally you wouldn't need to roll, but since you are very shaken and it's dark and you're combat stressed, you will need to roll me a first aid roll.
Yes. Dang.
No, you've passed. You've passed. Yeah.
Composure level 100.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so first aid. Let me quickly check it.
I think it's because I'm used to trauma from the war, so I go into my old
yeah.
war skills, so to speak.
Yeah, that's actually that's probably that. Where's the bloody healing? Threats to sanity, damage and death. Oh yeah, here it is.
No.
Roll me 1d4. Robert?
Yes. 1d4.
You've healed 3 points of Alison's health. You've masterfully, cleaned her wound with antiseptics and put on a bandage. Although you dread to think what kind of filth was on those clothes. After she spent God knows how many years in the septic tank. Alison will need to go to hospital, and very, very quickly. Because it's like she was essentially it's like if she was stabbed with a bunch of dirty syringes, only covered in shit.
I yell out to Joshua, "We need to get her to a hospital, and that's fast."
You go. I take the keys off of her.
All right.
I'm gonna go on ahead.
All right.
I'm gonna seal off. I'm gonna close the cabin. I'm gonna lock it like we've never been here before.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna load my car with as much gas as I possibly can, and then I'm gonna follow them.
Roll me your. Okay, let me just see one thing. Roll me. Willpowers. There's something like that.
There is. You just roll. That would be power times 5. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe intelligence or something.
Yeah, willpower is like here. Because what I want you to do, essentially, you are really afraid to stay here. That thing, because it wasn't a woman, ran into the woods, but you don't know if it's because she wanted to get away from you, if it's because she was afraid, or it's because that she perhaps wants to ambush you. So you are very, very, very not happy with the idea of staying here. So
willpower is power.
Is power okay? Or
willpower is power.
You can actually spend willpower points.
Yes, you can. Okay, so roll me. No, in that case, roll me sanity. But if you fail, you just use
willpower points, maybe.
Yeah, if you fail, you will lose 1 sanity. If you want to stay, you will be able to stay, but you will lose 1 sanity because your mind just thinks. All right.
I fail. All right, lose sanity or willpower.
Sanity. San.
Here we go.
You've rolled already, I think.
And I'm thinking, would this be...
Yeah, you've rolled already.
Sanity would be violence, I guess, and the second one would be helplessness?
Yeah.
We didn't lose anything the first time, but this one would be...
now you're rolling basically helplessness. Because you are staying alone, Robert and Allison are driving away in his truck to the nearest hospital, and you want to stay.
One X in helplessness.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you've just lost 1 sanity point.
I hurry up as much as I possibly can, and I probably drop stuff, and I point the gun at the different sides of the forest and everything.
Yeah, Stanley, you think that every single shadow out there is moving, and it has those strange, light glowing eyes. You are pants shittingly terrified. No joke.
I'm preacher.
Yeah. But eventually, you've packed as much stuff as you were able to your sports car. So probably not that much, unfortunately.
4 cans or something, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Since they are gallon, and you're driving away, looking in the mirror constantly to see if you won't spot a naked 50-something years old dead lady with long, sharp claws, who is able to apparently jump dozen feet into the air and hit like a Mack truck. But fortunately, no. She's not following you.
The only thing I'm looking for as I drive back to the city.
Yeah.
Basically, there's an X-Files episode with a creature moving in a septic tank. And
yes, there is.
The creature has moved to a gas station septic tank or something like a camping parking lot. I'm just looking when I drive back. If I see any place where there's another septic tank where she could possibly be hiding.
You would need to check nearby, like nearby possessions.
I look on the road back to the city. I look out, but I don't make it.
Like I've said, the last few miles to the cabin were essentially off-road.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's night. You won't be able to check it. You would have to come back during the day and make a thorough sweep of the area.
Hell no! I'm not
and
doing it. I'm going back.
Yeah, and now you're. By the way, you are all extremely shaking. You're just like. I'm not kidding. Even you, Alison, you are hissing with pain, and just you can't stop your hands from shaking. Fortunately, you've arrived at the outskirts of New York City. I presume that you've used your walkie-talkies to communicate with each other. Robert, you've got Alison to the hospital where she was administered first aid. Of course, nurses and doctors were asking what happened, but I presume that you've, thought about something. The doctor in charge said that she was very lucky. Whatever that animal was that attacked her, its claws were very dirty. If she wouldn't receive a proper medical attention, she would probably lost her arm, or maybe even get sepsa.
Yes. Back.
Reverend, she's probably in your debt. Stuff like that. Alison, you've stayed overnight. Of course, there were stitches. There was pain, but you stayed simply overnight. You can leave hospital like at early noon next day if you wish so. Although the doctors of course told you not to stress your arm too much and to rather take it easy for the next couple of weeks. Robert and Joshua, are you taking Alison back? Are you staying with her? Or because remember that you have fixed meeting with Silva in like one more day, 48 hours from yesterday.
Yeah, so at noon in 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if you want to return to your homes or hotels, because I don't know if you have permanent residence in New York, or if you just stay with your colleague.
I actually have no permanent residence at all. I just have a trailer parked somewhere else.
Yeah, so in your case, your trailer.
I probably have I'd probably sleep in the car.
Okay, you sleep in the car. Robert, what about you?
I think that I have a colleague within another ministry here in this part of the country, so I stay with him.
Okay. Somewhere in the city.
Yeah,
Okay.
somewhere in his ministry. There's like a guest room or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
there's
in a parish somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He just comes and unlocks it for me and then goes home again.
Okay, yeah, he was pretty surprised that you called him at such a late hour, and
Yeah,
you are in a pretty bad state yourself. By that I mean you have Alison's blood on you, just so you know. Although you probably were able to mask it pretty well with your jacket, but yeah. He's not asking questions. At least not too many
For
questions. For now. It's like, all right, Robert, here are the keys. God be with you. Stuff.
Thank you and God bless.
Yeah, God bless.
Then I go in and start cleaning up my clothes.
Yeah, well,
As much as possible, I guess.
essentially, Joshua, you came back to your car and just fell asleep almost immediately. You are exhausted emotionally. Robert, you started cleaning your clothes and then just you've almost collapsed on the floor. You had to get to bed and just sleep.
Yeah.
Because the fatigue and stress took over. Of course, Alison, you were given painkillers and rather serious painkillers. so you also didn't have any trouble going to sleep. I don't have to tell you that each of you had nightmares, horrible nightmares, and yeah, when the morning came, you've all woken up, maybe except Alison, who slept like for much longer. But all of
I
you,
slept morphine well.
yes, morphine, morphine. Well, but all of you, like when you woke up, you didn't really felt too that rested. Yeah. Eventually, Alison, you were released from the hospital. I don't know, boys. Did you came back to grab her?
Do you want to
Yeah.
go and pick her up, Preacher Man?
Yeah, I think it's for the best. The people at the hospital would recognize me.
Yeah, should I... What the hell should we do? Find that creature thingy. I'm gonna look at the news. That's what I'm gonna do.
Nothing,
See if we
nothing concerning anything strange.
Alright. So I guess I'm gonna be... meanwhile, while he's picking up her from the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be looking at the lay of the land around the cabin. So I'm gonna pull up a map or something of the cabin and just think, where would she go?
There are lots of woods there. It's without the search party with like satellite surveillance, choppers, dogs, stuff like that. It will be impossible for you to find her now. Literally
I imagine
impossible.
I'm just basically trying to think, where could she possibly have gone? Which direction is likely?
Remember, well, and remember that this thing, it moves fast. It's probably it moves faster than human. You saw how fast it jumped at Alison.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
may be in the middle of New York by now, perhaps. It may be on the way to Boston or maybe to Washington D.C. You don't know.
How the hell could it survive for 1.5 decades inside a septic tank? What did it eat?
Well, that's the thing. Remember what Robert said. It didn't breathe. It was dead, probably. It was dead for perhaps a long time, or maybe not. You don't know. When you all try to wrap your minds around this, what happened, you feel like your sanity is leaving you. It's something so unnatural and so horrible, so not right, that you can't concentrate on it. You don't know what you've gotten yourselves into. I mean, and those things in the locker, the knife, the suit, the tapes, you know, it's the teeth, the infant teeth. Anyway, Robert, you pick up Alison.
I do.
And finally, it's time to meet the handler again. Speak with him. Alison, of course, has her arm on a sling, and it's well bandaged. The doctors tell you that after they will take the stitches out in a couple of weeks, probably, that the scars will remain, Alison, unfortunately.
Alright.
But other than that, your arm will be fine. Also, fortunately. I mean, fortunately. Now, fortunately. So, the time comes when you return to New York, to the post office.
Just keying in as they're heading over, I'm just like, guys, do we need to get a story straight, or do we just...
Yeah, if you want to meet beforehand and speak, remember you have one whole day. Also, if you want to do something with those things that you found in the locker, if you want to leave something for yourselves, then also tell me now. If not, then also tell me.
I think I'll grab the book.
You grab the book, very well, and you will read the book, I presume. All right. Anyone else? The tapes. Remember, there are 21 hours of material there. There's the knife. There's the bag with the teeth and the hair and the... Oh, by the way, Robert, you know that the hair belong to the black bear, basically. There's the dossier about the Ventaja Corporation, the bloody suit, and the gas grenades and the small magnetic sphere.
All right. I'm gonna go with the dutiful special operative. I follow the instructions as set. I'm not gonna take anything. I'm not gonna do anything with any of it.
Okay. So in that case, Robert, are you taking anything for yourself?
Maybe I would like to look at the papers about the company.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, if except for Alison, Robert and Joshua, you can listen to the whole of the tapes before meeting with Silva again, because, like I said, 21 hours. So you can listen to most of it if you wish. You can also check the files extensively.
We should probably do that.
Let's try and get a place somewhere, like a hotel room or something, where we can listen to the tapes and check the files.
Okay. So after, you probably took Alison with you.
Yeah.
When
she can rest in the bed. Meanwhile.
Yeah, while you guys listen to seriously fucked up things. I mean, those tapes, they are just weird. We are talking like, Southern America hillbilly snake worshipping cult. Like a mix of pagan and Christianity, these people worship some kind of anthropomorphic snake god called Ig. There were a couple of other shrieks of pain from the congregation, but you were ready for them this time, so no sun loss for you. But yeah, it sounds like those people were really really into it, if you catch my meaning. As for the Ventaja Corporation, there's nothing out there. I've already told you, it's also codenamed Venta, meaning advantage. Argentine import-export firm dating from 65 to 68. FBI investigated allegations of weapons smuggling into Miami, and although the investigation ended without prosecution, the agency, quote unquote, kept a surveillance of the company for quite some time after that. Bauman uncovered financial ties between Ventaja and accounts mentioned on a World War II era financial watch list called K Group. And the raid on a Ventaja warehouse in San Juan, Puerto Rico, resulted in the recovery of something called the Shield formula. But unfortunately, Manila folder with that title is empty. You don't know what Shield formula is. And Alison, you are reading, because, there's nothing better to do in bed than reading. Sky Devils, Archetypical Figures in Native American Mythology by Karen Barr. It's a very strange book. Miss Barr writes about this stuff in a very passionate manner, like someone who almost believes what she writes. The Sky Devils refer to creatures that ride the skies, essentially. Ride the skies in the far north.
As flying or jumping?
As walking the skies, essentially. There's a name in there, Itla-Shua, the goddess of the north, who essentially bestows her gifts upon worthy, and those worthy travel north to commune with her. There's a name attached to these creatures, Wendigo. Other than that, like I've said, strange book. You get 1 percentile in the unnatural skill. Alison, but
Yeah.
you lose.
1%.
No, you lose.
I get 1%.
Yes, yes. You get
Yeah.
1% in unnatural, but you lose 2 sanity points.
Yes.
Because, like I said, this is a very like unnatural, disturbing treaty. Anyway, it's time to meet the handler again. 48 hours from your first meeting with Jonathan Silva, you arrive at the abandoned post office. You enter the conference room and you see that Silva is sitting at the exact same spot, smoking Lucky Strikes and smelling slightly of bourbon. Welcome. Please take a seat.
Thank you, man.
He looks at you with this, tired look when you spoke with the Rasta accent. I presume that the mission has been successful. Miss Steele, how's the arm?
The arm's hanging along.
That's what's important. It's hanging. So, who present me with a report?
Have we talked before about what we are presenting? Everything?
Yes, of course. You had time.
Yeah, so we are presenting everything.
Mm,
That's what I vote for.
but
Yeah.
sorry, but so you every single thing from the chest you present to him, right?
Yeah, and what we have experienced.
Yeah.
Also.
All
I
right.
just carry in the chest and I'll look him deeply in the eyes and I ask him, what do you know about
Yes.
people with claws that jump very high?
What do you know about Wendigos?
In the movies normally, people like Silva would probably. I'm like speaking as a handler would probably say like it's classified, or you don't know, you can't handle the truth, stuff like that. He just looks at you and he looks very, very, very tired. People with claws who jump very high are usually hard to kill. And the last time when I saw Wendigo, we had to call a napalm strike to kill one. Sons of bitches are very, very hard to deal with, and fire is the only sure thing.
How do we react when he so calmly brings us some facts about
I don't know. It's
how
up.
they kill?
It's up to you. I mean, not every day you hear about hunting Wendigos with napalm.
And this is also our first encounter with the
Yes.
natural.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I watch.
Sorry. Once again, Alison, please.
So I watch him deeply in the eyes,
Hmm?
and I said that might have been facts that would have been good to know before we set one on the loose.
I didn't knew what you would find there. If I knew, I wouldn't send a rookie team. I wouldn't send a strike squad. From what you've told me, I of course will never know. But I presume that Bowman was so hurt after losing his wife to cancer that he tried to bring her back. But he didn't. What attacked you, what was in that septic tank, wasn't Marlene Bowman. It was something else. Something from not here. Fortunately for you, this thing acted like an animal. It lashed out to show you that, it wanted to get free, it wanted to get away, and then it ran away. Perhaps some kind of cosmic parasite, maybe some kind of spirit, I'm not really sure. And anyway, if it will re-wrap its head, we will find it. Take care of it. You did well. Your superiors will be informed about your stellar performance in the field, of course, except you, Mr. Wait a second. Mr. Dennis Dallow. Since you're not
Right.
working for anyone now, other than yourself. And please drop that stupid Rastafarian accent, it's insulting, honestly. Right. I will take care of this locker and its contents. Thank you for your service. We're in touch. Now off you go.
I stand up and walk out.
Yeah, me too.
You did well! He shouts after you. Just so you know. You did really well. Thank you.
I kinda lingers by the table.
Yeah, you see that he's checking the gas grenades, muttering something. Well, they're probably not working. Maybe I'll need to check one out. Mr.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Mr. Anderson. What can I do for you?
Are you a man of faith?
Not anymore. Not after what I've seen.
Because that's... I have never experienced anything like this. And if I knew, I was so sure that the woman, she needed our help.
Yes, I understand that. You, like I said, you did well. I've seen agents in the field acting much worse than you. Usually after a couple of years or even decades of witnessing such things. It tends to erode one's morals, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah,
But
I do.
you did well. I will have more tasks for you and your friends. They've left already. You will give this to them, please. And he pulls out a small wooden case from under the conference table, opens it. Inside there are 3 very simple cell phones, not smartphones, old school cell phones.
Yeah.
They are secure. From now on, if I'll have to
Okay.
contact you, I will use this. Don't lose them.
Thank you. Of course I won't. And I also think that his words calms the minister in some way.
The man essentially, when he spoke to you and to all of you, he spoke a bit like a cyborg. Like his expression never changed. He's not passionate about what he says. He just states it as facts. Mr. Anderson, like I said, I need you to go now, but just so you know what you're doing for the good of the American people and, in fact, for the good of all of the world. No matter how jaded you are or how jaded your friends are, this is the real fight. Not war on terror, not war on drugs, not building a wall right next to Mexico. This. I want you to understand that.
I do understand.
No, you don't. You don't yet understand. There are things in this world and beyond it that the worst thing that us humans can do are nothing compared to the evils that they present with themselves.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, you're now part of an initiative to fight these evils. It will require very hard choices from you in the future, but I'm sure that you'll manage to do that. Now please, leave me. Take those cell phones, give them to your friends.
Of course, sir. Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, Reverend Anderson. And he
I
continues.
turn around
Yeah.
and walk out of there.
He, as you walk out of there, he began to, to read the dossier about the Vendaja Corporation. You join your friends outside.
Yeah.
If you want to share a couple of last words before we end our game now is the good time.
I think it's gonna be a pretty tense moment actually when I'm outside waiting for Father to come out. Yeah, just waiting to see his reaction on.
Yeah, well, you see that Reverend Anderson returns from the meeting room and handles you, I presume, the cell phones.
Yeah, I do. And when you see my face, I seem a bit off. Like the world has just fallen down on me. And I say, here we got some kind of cell phones. He said he would contact us with them.
The cell phones are like 5 years old, model-wise, but they're one of those cell phones that are very sturdy. You could probably drop them from a couple of meters and they would work just fine.
Nokia 3310.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
The best phone ever made. Hoorah.
Ever made.
Ever made. Ever made, says serpent people from a nearby room.
And also not sponsored.
No, we're not sponsored. I'm not a shoe. Anyway.
I don't think that's it's that easy to get sponsored by Nokia.
Yeah. In 2018.
Oh, yeah, oh well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I hand over the phones to everybody.
Yeah, of course, with the phones you also have chargers for them and spare batteries. So you can add the phones to your character sheets. Each one has a unique number, naturally. Are you going to discuss anything, or are we just, ending the op right now?
I think I would like to say to my colleagues, I asked them the same question as I did in there. So I ask if they are religious people, I guess. And if they're not, I think it's time to pray now.
Well, no, I'm not religious.
And I say it in a sense of like, because there is nothing else. I guess Robert feels so kind of helpless. So prayer is the only thing left to keep him sane.
Yeah.
For the moment, I think.
Preacher man, I say, and I put my hand out and put it on your shoulder. I think basically what we've seen here goes beyond what us could actually ever imagine. This should be more in your area of expertise than in ours. In a fight in the days to come. And I think that you personally up big time out, but I think you made the good and the human choice in letting this thing out. So I think that you and I and Miss Steele, of course, together, and we will have to be both extremely inhuman ourselves in what we bring to the fight.
Yeah, of course. the fight is on. We need to fight this darkness.
And cut.
And cut.
Yeah.
That was first operation
Cool.
of the new cell of the agency. Because you still don't know the name.
Cool.
So, tell me guys, did you like the game?
Thank you so very much.
Oh, yes.
It was really fun.
Okay.
Oh, yes. It was sweet.
Alison? Or rather, Joanna?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
I mean, I was like, sometimes when you play occult role-playing games, it takes a long time before the unnatural appears, and I can sometimes become a bit bored because I want to see monsters and sanity rolls and
I get it.
fly over the table. So I was very pleased that things moved along in a natural pace.
Yeah, I feel kind of the same. Like I read the Lovecraft books, so I love that I can some of it play a little bit earlier. I also like that that I felt that it happened a lot quite quickly, because my problem with a lot of these more some of these like role play
Investigation kind of role-playing.
is that I have a hard time feeling it.
Alright.
Can you say it like that? Like I have a hard time getting into it properly. So I get a lot of like analysis paralysis. That's what I fight against the most when I play. Is that I often turn into these. I analyze too much of what I'm supposed to do. That's why when I played today, I felt like I'm just gonna throw something out and whatever happens happens. So that I think fun. Do think.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I mean, you know, hearing those words as a handler, game master, whatever you want to call, I know that I did my job well. Thank you. And Martin, what about you?
I'm impressed. I think you handled it very well. I had a great time playing. This was a very here for me to play. I know you guys haven't played with me before, so normally I tend to be the sociable character, the leader, or whatever. Playing a spook is something I've never done before. So thank you so much for the appreciation and the encouragement for that. That helped. You were very adaptive. The story, it was kind of basic but still advanced in its moral choices. Great conflict between the preacher and the Rasta.
They were very cool.
Yeah, that was a really big highlight for me. It was so fun that you kind of backed off. I thought you wouldn't back off there for a second.
Actually, that was the fun part, because when I made my character, I forgot to make him adapted to violence. I was intending to do that, but I forgot it. So I just thought, okay, let's have a guy who's done all the sniper training, has done all the basic surveillance missions, but he's never actually shot anyone.
Yeah.
And if I thought about that, then I figured that he would probably be scared to shoot it. He would be scared to take that decision. So that's why he backed down. So it made for an interesting dynamic, I think.
Well, the scenario itself is from the starter set. When I play with new people, I always go for basic scenarios to see if will fit, so to speak. But I think that we do. So I guess that means that I can create another doodle for the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
And
Yes, please.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And what can I say? I will take, generally, we'll probably just make it like from scenario to scenario, with eventual campaign maybe later on. I'm getting married this year later, so
Congratulations.
thank you. So like in a couple of months, I will still have time, but I don't want to commit to something that I'll probably have to like take a longer break from, especially since the ceremony will be in another country than mine. Because my fiance is from Armenia. We are getting married in Yerevan. But since you guys are willing, then I guess we'll play together from now on. I'm very pleased.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I'd love to. And for me, it's perfectly that we can have it from time to time basis, since I have way much to do all of the time.
Yeah.
So to say that we do like every Monday or every Tuesday, that wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, I mean,
So
for me as well.
As
So
well.
to say that we
Likewise.
just put up a doodle and see which day works for all of us, I think that's a perfect way, especially when we do these smaller adventures instead of a long-running campaign. Because if you do a long-running campaign, then maybe you want it to be shorter in between, so you don't lose the feeling between.
I mean, I have like a IRL RPG group, and we meet every week. But because of our work, we are able to like play every Tuesday or Thursday. But it's like big campaign, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, stuff like that. But because of that, I wouldn't be able to like play with you guys each week.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Pretty much the same for me. I have courses with my dog Tuesday and Thursdays every other week, and I play role-playing Mutant every Wednesday. So.
Okay. So but just one thing, since we are only like 4 of us, I mean handler and 3 players, I will need every single time when we are playing, I will need all 3 of you, so you know.
Of course.
So like take that into consideration, because if one of you stuff happens, of course, it's normal, but if one of you like falls out, then the game is no go. It's Delta Green is not a is not a game for 2 players. In all honesty, we should probably have one more, but I don't want to, because it would be much harder to organize it, and I think we 4 we get along. So let's stay with just us 4 of us.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That's
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Okay, so what I want you to do is before the next game, think about your downtime and what you want to like use it for. Because in Delta Green you like develop your character during downtime. You can find it in the Need to Know, and I will also take that time to properly read the rulebook and not only Need to Know. For example, in Need to Know there's nothing about hypergeometry or magic, although right now, unfortunately, none of you uses it. And I will of course prepare another scenario, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for your game. And as usual, if you have any questions, hit me on Messenger or on Discord. I will be more than glad to sort you out.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good night and good job, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Handler out.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.